Here on Sunday morning, November 6th, for the Mammoth versus Tulsa 35 plus Mountain Division, American Rules championship game. Tulsa coming in as the number 1 seed and the Mammoth coming in as the number 3 seed. Tulsa beat Yanase Bandits yesterday, and the Mammoth beat the Lakeville Lobos. We are at Tempe Diablo, Field 3, I think, which is not a stadium game, but this is where they have the championship this year. So, game starts in about 40 minutes. Tom's probably wondering where the phone is so that he can start streaming. And I'm going to get down there and stretch. Game starts at 9 o'clock Arizona time, which due to daylight savings is 10 o'clock Minnesota time today. This whole week we've been 2 hours off. Now we're 1 hour apart. Take a quick walk through the facility. Get an idea what we're working with here. This is pitchers practice area. They've got the mannequin there for the pitchers to practice their spot with. Got Grilly out there warming up with Brian Bushman. This is the home of the Anaheim Angels. I wanted to call them the California Angels. Their spring training facility. Anyway. Kind of a nice, we're discussing with Diamond Dan. It's kind of nicer than the stadium, and just that it has all these kind of small amenities of bullpens and practice areas. Whereas when you're in the stadium, it's not just a baseball stadium. Kind of built more for fans than the players. Stadium's up that way by the mountain, and that's where we beat the Utah Dodgers last year to win the championship. Look at him.
Yeah, they're right.
He's just ready. It's all ready. Got 3 viewers.
Thanks, Case. So check this out. There's Tommy. Look at this setup. They have this little special seat, special viewing area. So
is it like 6 in the morning?
I can set it up. I can sit right here. Now, it's not going to be a shot behind home plate. So it's going to be more like the normal angle that I've had for most of the tournament. But I mean, I guess from a viewer's perspective, there's nothing special about this. But I get to sit down. I'm just going to keep this bad boy running until game time. Special morning. Let's see what. I'm assuming we're. I love Tom Genrich. Who is that? Who is I love Tom Genrich? Guessing it's a Skeeter. 3 guesses. All right, let's play this. It is a Skeeter. Okay. Is that one of my guesses? 10 questions. My first guess, although I think he's got his own. Okay. Well, let's do 3 guesses. My first guess, although I think he's got his own handle, is Rob Jones. I don't think he'd use this. He'd come up with something a little bit more cutting, and I love Tom Genrich. So, okay, not Rob Jones. Jeff Fryerex. And if I'm going to use my third guess, if I get the name, if I got that guess right, not Jeff Fryerex, or did I get the name wrong? Incorrect. Negative. Okay. I'm going between Bob Gordon and Phil Allen. I'm going to go Bob. Would Bob Gordon go I Love Tom Gunner? I'm going to go Bob Gordon. Both. Oh my goodness. Nate Sayre? I mean, I'm out of guesses. I'm running out of Skeeters now, too. I don't know who else. Seth? I don't know who else knows. Seth wouldn't be watching. He's got family duties. It's not Mike Schaefer. Oh, who's left?
I've never even ever seen anything. It's like, what do we even do with this?
This is fantastic.
Take some pictures of this one. This is the first time I've ever seen them allow anyone.
Hold on, gotta hear this.
So it's the Angels only have ever been on this field.
Okay. Check it out. I assume an actor,
Well, it is, but I mean, they reseeded it too, so it's starting to come
Well, if it's a second account, it's got to be. I don't know who is it. I mean, I've run through all the Skeeters I can think of. Chuck?
I did. I actually called the guy right now. I'm like, Mike, you're
Cork.
This is the championship. I'm ready.
I wouldn't have guessed that, Cork, because I've seen you on here under your normal name, so you're just pumping up my numbers, aren't you?
Yeah, last year.
It's fair. It's fair. Groundskeeper said they've never seen anybody play in this field except for the Angels. Let's listen to this.
Years and years ago, early, maybe 2009, 8, we used to practice.
Yeah, we practice on field 5.
And over there, but even on this field.
4, 5, and 6 have always been allowed to be used.
Oh,
I
gotcha.
wouldn't-
Just this one.
When I was allowing people to use these in fields 1 and 2 and the stadium and everything, I had to kick people off of here just for walking in here.
This is the. This
I mean,
is
it was
the.
like the ultimate taboo. No one could come in here. And
So what do the Angels use this kind of for their like?
Yeah,
this is their.
Yeah, this is where they have all their
main-
games and everything like that. If they're not playing in the stadium and all of that.
Gotcha. Yeah. This is their main field.
You know,
Yeah.
all their minor league guys.
Yeah.
Their major. I mean, we use all the fields, but
Yeah,
only
this is
the games are
the
here.
games are here and at the stadium.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. The grass here is. Well, that stadium gets.
Yeah,
all the
they're
use that it gets.
they're not. They're actually tearing out all the grass in there
Oh,
after
really?
this tournament.
Okay.
And they're gonna put all new sod in and everything.
Gotcha.
Is that just is that just the fall seed that you put in, or was that? I mean, I know I live here in Arizona, so it's like I know we do like the Bermuda in the summer, and then
Yeah. Well, they just
overseed
they overseeded these 4. They're gonna overseed 1 and 2 starting Monday. And the stadium,
Cork, you can still hear me, right? I hit a button on my phone. Good. Yeah, let's get back. Let's get back to the groundskeeper.
See that. Yeah. Awesome.
all right. Well, again, have fun.
Yeah,
guys.
appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate it very much.
Evidently.
Okay, great.
Grass is longer than any field I've played on down here. Maybe it's not that it's longer, it's just that it's not burnt out by the sun. I mean, you can tell that they water it. What a field. Let's go out. We'll just stay here until game time. Not sure who's going to pitch, Cork. I think you asked earlier. I can tell you Nate wants to pitch, but I can also tell you that he's going to defer to Matt Grill if Matt says he can go. We were talking about it last night. I mean, the competitor, Nate, really wants to pitch. He said this is the one area where kind of their two-headed managerial setup breaks down because they both want to pitch. Neither wants to, trump the other in terms of making the decision. But what Nate said, and I think he's right, is look, if Matt Grill says that he can go, and if he tells you it's not going to hurt his arm, and that's kind of my concern, just the wear and tear on his arm, then you got to go with Matt Grill, just given his history, because Nate knows that Matt Grill's a better pitcher. What I told Nate was, well, I think there's two arguments against. One, a diminished Grill. At some point, he's diminished to the point where he's not as good as a fresh Nate Stark. And then the second concern would be just the wear and tear on his arm. Maybe you start Nate and you have Grill come in if Nate struggles. But I don't know. I think maybe we should go ask him. I mean, I think he's been asked by everybody. How do you feel? How do you feel? How's your arm? We'll get over there in a bit. Got some plyo ball action going on over here. Mike Dahl. Mike's been consistently hitting the ball this tournament. Any word on Matt Grill, Nate?
He feels good.
Feels good?
Yeah. We're going to ride Grill till his arm falls off.
Okay. I'm sure Hans Hegerness will be happy to hear that. So it's Grilly until his arm falls off today. How you feeling, Nate? I'm sure you're feeling good, right?
I'm feeling good.
Yeah. Brian Bushman in the red. We passed Brian Bushman on the highway. It occurred to me then that Brian looks like the man who would have some interesting hobbies. Hot air balloonist. Maybe a spelunker. Pat Ralston in the middle. Got Siewert in the black. Bending down without difficulty to pick up the plyo ball. Got Brian Durand. Learned this morning that Brian's nickname at work is Smoke Break Brian. We've seen him smoking a lot of cigarettes this tournament. Tom's tip of the cap. The top three. Well, I mean, I'm going to give you two serious ones and then one not so serious one. I think number one's got to be, as usual, Matt Grill. At some point in this stream, I mentioned that the top 35 plus players I've ever played with are in this order: Cork, Emery, and Diamond Dan. And I realized that the criminal oversight, not mentioning Matt Grill in that list. Matt Grill is somewhere in that top three. I don't know where he places, but never played with a more dominant pitcher than Matt. So I think Matt's got to get one of the tips of the cap. I mean, Brian Durand pitched a shutout against a Utah team that we beat in the Cactus League championship last year. So in terms of just an individual performance, I think that has to be give some consideration there. If we're just looking at overall tournament performance, though, yeah, Diamond Dan's got to get one because he's just been consistently stellar. I think I'm going to give a second to Matt Grill. And then I think I'd give the third to that Buddha on the Bandits team who, he was a man who looked like he cut his own hair. He hits the double, and then on second base, he's got a Buddha's belly. And then on second base, he lifts his uniform up, shows his bare belly to the world, and then plays it like a bongo drum. A scene I don't think I'll ever forget. Maybe one of my favorite moments I've had down here. Just seeing this guy, just an unmitigated expression of joy, beating his belly like bongo drums. I'd have to give that guy maybe the top tip of the cap. Anyway, maybe we'll return to this topic in the stream. That's a good question, Court. Don't have many people watching right now, so this is 6 games in, and I've run out of material. So there's Casey warming up. Hey, Cork, now that I know you're on here, I'm gonna have my phone. I'm working on Casey's phone. I was told that the stream dropped at some point yesterday, hopefully before I called someone an imbecile. So I'm gonna have my phone, and if the stream drops, just maybe call me. I'll try to check my text very often and try to make sure that we stay live the whole way. We're in the Tempe complex. It's always been pretty good, in my experience, when it comes to connection. And then I'm using Casey's phone today instead of mine, so hopefully we'll be a steady stream the whole way.
Even Jordan Alvarez couldn't hit over there. That was whoa. That guy's he's gonna get so much money. But beyond that though.
Boy, Scott Sievert is putting on a display here.
And if you had told me someone could hit over that batting eye, I think I would have told you.
That would have shattered my shin, and I wouldn't have been able to get out of the way. Directly in the line of fire. I said that last one would have shattered my shin. It would have been like a cannonball in Civil War. Bounced right up and right through me.
The grass is really wet, so the ball is skidding instead of biting the grass. So it almost looks like it's speeding up when it hits the ground.
Okay.
So it'll be an interesting outfield.
That's some great pregame. I'll bring that up on the stream. I mean, we're on the stream now, but there's nobody listening. I'll give you attribution for that too. Pat said something yesterday that I thought was kind of funny, and then I repeated it as I was walking down the line. I didn't give him attribution because it's Pat Hanlon I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
Oh, this is coming hot. Nearly took me out at the ankles. Cork, did you give your students a lesson in physics using the principle of the plyo ball? Probably not, huh? I was kind of gentle with you the first.
Oh, look at
Bushy
that
almost
filming.
killed me.
Doesn't even.
Maybe Monday, yeah. I was kind of gentle with you.
Journalism.
That's right. In the five, just
don't even
I
flinch.
don't even flinch, man. The
Jeez.
bullets are flying.
And say I made a Superman catch on that too.
That blur, that flash in front of the screen was Brian Bushman.
I think it's live, Bushy.
Yeah. So the first day, Cork, I was pretty gentle with you when I described you to your AP class. I went after you a little hard on the second day. I may have made fun of your outfits. I don't know if you dress like a dad. I mean, you don't when I see you. I wouldn't call you a fashion plate either, though. Oh, that's just crushed. We're watching Nate Stark hitting plyo balls. If you're not familiar with the concept of the plyo ball, it's a very heavy, very mushy ball. You got to hit center of mass or it turns into an egg. Harder than it sounds. Have you ever bought two pairs of shorts for less than $5 though, like Casey did?
I wasn't.
I didn't know there was such I didn't know that was possible. I mean, I do a lot of shopping at Target. I don't get those kind of deals at Target. We play at the top of the hour, whatever the hour is back home. About a half hour left. Just going to keep it here until game time. No reason for me to warm up. Looks like we're up to 8 viewers already. We're on a field that the groundskeeper person told us he's never seen anyone other than the Angels. This is the Angels complex play on this field. We're in Tempe. He said enjoy it because he was shocked to see us on this field. Normally championship games are played in stadiums. We got bumped from that stadium, whatever stadium we were supposed to be in, maybe Tempe, maybe right here. And maybe as a sop, they threw us this field instead. This isn't Northeast Athletic Field, thick grass, but this is about as thick and healthy a lawn as I've seen on a field down here. Most of the fields, they're like AstroTurf. It's grass, but it's very short, very dry, very fast. I think this is going to play fast, but not like the fields we've seen.
Let me see the comments.
Oh yeah, it's just court. Diamond Dan always hits these plyo balls, I would say, better than anybody. They're his balls.
I'm both cold and hot. It's just like cool air, hot sun. Yeah.
Could it be menopause? Casey lets that sink like a lead balloon.
I don't like this ball trick at all.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about your feelings about the plyo ball.
I don't like it. I get that it's necessary evil down here when we can't take a BP, and I don't hate it. Okay, so there's ends of the spectrum where some guys like Dan obviously really loves it. Dan's a gadget guy, and Dan's hitting 500 or whatever he is, so it's working for Dan. I just don't like it. I don't really know what I'm doing, I guess. It doesn't feel good. I square one up and people are like, oh yeah. And I'm like, I don't,
Right.
I didn't get the feedback I wanted.
Yeah.
So I'm not even gonna hit it today. Just gonna get loose and then crush some balls in the game.
I wish there was some place I could throw you some BP.
Right.
I feel like if we did one of those soaks that we have sometime,
Yeah, that
you're
was
ready
more
at
helpful.
the end of
than-
those.
Those are helpful, yeah. I mean, that's the strange thing about being down here. You got so many opportunities. It's really nice, and then you take out a huge part of preparation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no infields,
Yeah.
no pregame, batting practice.
It's fine. I mean, Maybe that's what Randy's preparing us all for all year long anyways, with his no infields, that we just getting ready for Arizona. I can't remember, does Palm Springs allow a infield?
I think they probably do because those fields are kind of crummy.
Yeah.
Maybe some of the nicer fields they do.
I don't know. Swinging the bat. I'll swing the bat some just to get the back loose.
Did you try his contraption bat?
Again, I don't know what feedback I'm supposed to be getting off of that thing.
Right.
And a lot of people think it's you like it.
I liked it, yeah.
So you swing it, and it's supposed to help you keep your hands through, but you're supposed to hear like a couple clicks or
It
something.
helps you stay connected. It creates, what I think it does, it creates bat leg, because if you get your hands through with enough speed, the sliding weight shifts to the end of the bat, whereas if you cast your hands out, it's not going to snap down. Hands through, it creates that, Clark would know, centrifugal or centrifugal force on
So
the
you could also
weight.
stand by a fence and do the old drill.
It's just like the fence drill. I would recommend not doing it when you're standing near a windscreen at one of these complexes, because if you catch the windscreen, it's going to rip.
with Dan's device.
Yes.
Has anybody done that?
Not that anyone here is aware of, no.
Not that anybody, not that the camera's pointed to, but maybe the camera's pointed away from it.
Centrifugal force, thanks. Doesn't exist. Okay. Well, how come I've heard the phrase centrifugal force?
Centripetal?
Centrifugal.
Centripetal?
Here's, I got one on this phone. It's 8:48.
Thank you.
You good to go here, Grilly?
Yeah.
Matt? Maddie?
Terry will adjust.
All right. That girl's gonna pitch. I think we're getting the physics lessons from Cork. Let's see. Back to Tommy the Cork 92. Oh God, that was coming at me. It's perceived force opposed to centripetal force. Okay? Okay? You would know better than anybody on the stream, anybody on this field. I'm going to take your word for it, Cork. It's Matt Vanderbeek hitting some hard line drives with the plyo balls. About 12 minutes to game time. On the other side, we have our opponents, the Tulsa Biscuits. Tulsa comes in with a big roster, some big boys, big record. They're undefeated, 6-1, I think. Some big aspirations. They got to go through the Mammoth. My worry today, it's been my worry all tournament, and it's manifested with Lakeville, is that we're going to run into an ex-pro pitcher who approaches either of the Myers in terms of their stuff. Oh wait, we got a paragraph here from Corey. So when you're turning hard to the left, it feels like your body's experiencing a force to the right, but really it's just that your butt in the car is moving left. And your upper half just wants to keep doing what it's doing, so it feels like you're experiencing a force to the right. Okay. That makes sense to me. We all learned something today. People call that perceived force to the right. Okay. I'm not going to mention that force today then. Just heard Diamond Dan say that the ball's going to skip a lot out here. Nate Stark brought that up a couple minutes ago. It's wet grass. It's short and it's wet. So rather than rolling, the thought is that it's going to skip because of the lack of friction. Right, Cork? as if the grass is greased up. Morning dew. Macro warming up. I suspect if the other side is watching this warm up, they're probably not too concerned. I think from this perspective, Matt looks to me a guy who doesn't have a huge arm. But that's not what makes Matt Grill special. We'll talk about that in the stream. Matt pitched a complete game victory yesterday against the Lakeville team that we always have great battles against. Matched up against Dave Meyer. Dave was the second best pitcher we've seen in pool play. The other Meyer, Matt Meyer, was the best. I'd never seen Dave Meyer pitch. I'd heard about him. He can really pitch. All of the accolades, the plaudits, the bouquets, the verbal bouquets tossed in Dave Meyer's direction are deserved. He's everything he was billed out to be. He really held this lineup down for 2 games. Held us to 1 run in the first game, and then we scored 4 against them yesterday, but they were very much localized run. They were if it was a meteorological phenomenon, it would be kind of like a popcorn shower. Very, very brief run scoring stretches surrounded by a lot of outs. In fact, I think Lakeville probably had more base runners than we did yesterday. I'm not sure about that. Lakeville was kind of victimized, we thought at the time, by a bad interference call. Cork actually went through the video and took a still shot of the aftermath of the batter's swing. Umpire claimed that the batter fell across the plate, and it does appear that the batter is on the plate. Now, it's also in the rules that the catcher has to make an attempt to make a throw. Now, Grill had stood up, and I think he had cocked, but he told me after the play was over, when I was talking to him on the side, that he was not intending to throw down to second. There was a man on third at the time, so he was prepared to let that man on first go to second. The umpire saw the left-handed batter fall across the plate on the swing. Called batter interference, called the batter out, and that was a rough break for Lakeville. That was, at the time, the game was 1-0, I think. 2 outs, kind of a big moment in the game. I'm looking at the Tulsa pitcher warming up. Yeah, he's got good stuff. He's throwing, I'd say, a little bit lower than 3/4. Not a Kent Colby sidearm, but this is a sidearm delivery. I'm sure you can't see it very well. You get a much better look when he takes the mound. It's a big dude. Pitcher's frame, I think this is going to be tough. Home plate's happening, so we're going to go get set up behind our perch. If you're just joining us, we're on the practice field that apparently the Angels do a lot of their, I imagine they'd be simulated games, a lot of their more advanced practice work on. Grounds crew said that he's never seen anybody but the Angels using this field. We were supposed to be in a stadium. We got bumped. This won't mean much to people watching out there. The view's not going to be that different, but whereas I'd normally be standing behind this, today we have this screen set up on the field. A couple seats here. A commemorative bleacher for Bobby Newt. Appreciation of your dedication and respect for our great game, as well as your caring and compassion in making young men better baseball players and all of us better people. We dedicate this bench to you. Generosity of your class, style, and humility remains the standard for others to attain and will long be remembered by members of the Los Angeles Angels Major League Baseball communities. I feel like we could do a bench like that for Randy Schmidt. Randy Schmidt, manager of the Mammoth, not down here with us. I haven't said enough about Randy on these streams. I did say in a little interview that I did for Lars Larson in the Federal League. Randy was in Europe at the time, wasn't available to do it. That Randy's on my Mount Rushmore of most likable people I've ever met. Truly. A great guy. I really miss having him down here. There's certain people I like putting on these streams. And Randy's right there near at the top. Always has a smile on his face. He has interesting things to say. He's very smart when it comes to baseball. I'm sure he's watching now. Probably looking forward to a long day of sport viewing. Baseball in the morning and football in the afternoon. Hopefully he'll have occasion to crack a Coors Light in a couple hours. Celebrate remotely with the Mammoth as we attempt to capture the Mountain Division Championship. We are getting ready to kick this one off. Not sure what we're waiting for. Beautiful field. You can see in the background we got a small mountain. These Tempe fields are ringed by these ridges, mountains. So when you come out here, there's usually something interesting in the back, in the foreground rather than in the background. In most stadiums, most fields down here, there's mountains somewhere, but Tempe, they're tucked up behind, right up next to the outfield fence. We're back to the Major League dimensions today. Yesterday, we were playing at a Mesa complex. Dimensions that were similar to what we see back home. Not today. 364 down each line, 422 to center. Some slick outfields. The dew has not yet dissipated. Should create some fast conditions out there, somewhat mitigated by grass, which is a little longer. We're missing. This is really important.
Everyone here is going to come with that intensity today like we did yesterday. So bring that, guys. Bring that, right?
No need to conserve energy. We're backing everything up.
Right.
Running in on every play in the outfield. Seconds backing up first.
Like I said, we're the best baseball team. Right? Best baseball team. As we do baseball things here today, we wear them out and we don't break. Let's fucking go.
Hey, hold on one more thing.
Let's go.
The grass is super slick, so it's super fast when it's on the ground.
Yep.
So
Yeah, it's gonna
be aware
skip.
of that. Yeah, it's gonna skip.
All right.
All right,
Mammoth on 3. 1, 2, 3, Mammoth!
Let's go! Here we go. One more game, boys. One more game. Let's see your best ball today. Here we go. Everyone's back. Everyone's back. One more time. Here we go.
Okay, so we're off. I'm going to close the chat. Again, Cork, any issues? Ring me up on my phone. For everyone else, if this stream goes down, I will move heaven and earth to get it back up immediately. I have nothing to do today. I have nothing to do today but stream, so I'm going to try to make sure for those who are interested in seeing how this tournament ends for us, that we give you a uninterrupted experience. So I was talking about this pitcher, right-handed, slings it sidearm, not the Kenta Covey. Wow, that's a good sharp fastball. I think this was the ex-pro I was a little worried about. Every one of these pitches is just filling up the strike zone. I like hitting a sidearmer like this. You can see the ball for a long time. It's way out there, kind of presents it. suspect he's got a really good slider, though. Kind of wings in there, frisbees in there. Breaks sharp and late off the outer half against righties. Yeah. He's one of those kind of fluid throwers that I talked about earlier in the tournament, whose ball seems to explode on you. Sometimes the guys who have a lot of arm velocity, right? By arm velocity, I mean like their arm moves. Full max effort guys. That fastball doesn't seem to get in on you as quickly as a guy like this, who is just more power generated through fluid mechanics. So we'll see. First thing I'll be looking for is whether we're on time with this fastball, or rather how quickly it takes us to adjust to it. There's a ball off the plate. Just getting started here, top of the first. 4-3 Mammoth versus the 6-0-1 Tulsa Biscuits. Tulsa tied Lakeville during the round robin, beat us by 1. We were playing through a squall, but they've yet to lose. Good take by Dan. So important for the Mammoth offense to get Diamond Dan Casaz on base. I think it's 3-1. Dan taking that pitch. It might be 3-0. Yeah, it was 3-0, so now we're 3-1. Dan will be looking for a pitch here. See what he gets. See what he gets.
Good cut.
Pitch off the plate. Fouls it the other way. Not the diamond vision view we had yesterday from behind home plate. I'm actually on the field behind a screen, so this is kind of nice for me. Maybe not as ideal for you, but if you're looking for that shot from behind home plate, tune into Diamond Dan's stream. As a pop-up, it's going to be in play. Nope. The ball looked like it was going to fall inside the fence, but maybe 5 feet outside the fence. Rob Jones would have made a show to catch that. Very dramatic. He most assuredly would not have caught it. He would have asked me if I saw the effort when I got back to the dugout from center field. 3-2 count, nobody out, top of the first. That's a rather discouraging sign right there. Diamond Dan going down on strikes. Wonder what that pitch was. Maybe we'll ask Dan later. It's Mike Lippert. Mike just been solid, as he always is in these tournaments. There's a pitch off the plate. This pitcher fell behind 3-0 to Diamond Dan. Induced 2 foul balls and got him on a swinging strike for the first out of the game. Let's see what Lip can do here. So we've seen some late swings on that fastball, as I thought we might. Of course, the Mammoth are good hitters, and they'll adjust. I suspect these guys have a power arm to bring out of the pen later, too, so it's a good pitch. Mike shook his head. I can't really read the action on the pitch from here. It's going to be hard to talk about what he's throwing. Man, that's a nasty pitch. Lip shaking his head. If he missed, he did not miss by much. It's a really good pitch. No anxiety out there on the mound. This pitcher looks completely relaxed. Nate Stark. This guy's keeping everything down. Nate started out struggling. The light turned on 2 games ago. He's been ripping the baseball. See if we can find a gap. Pitch off the plate, 2-0. In the top of the first inning, nobody on, 2 outs. A couple of strikeouts to start the game off. Another foul ball to the left. We've seen every Mammoth hitter late on that fastball. Nate caught a fish last night. Both Nate and Casey hadn't done any fishing on this trip. We got back early, so we took the pontoon out, 4 of us. Good take by Nate off the plate. I wasn't sure that Nate knew how to cast, but if he didn't know how to cast, he figured it out very quickly. Nate does everything well. It came as no surprise to any of us on the boat that Nate caught what we determined was the 3rd best fish of the trip. 16-inch bass. Second best was I think it was a 17-inch bass by Dan Smolik, and I had the fish of the trip, a trophy bluegill. Something you'd see mounted on the wall at a sporting goods store. We talked about putting it on my wall, but I have nothing on my walls, so it would look rather forlorn. Just a single bluegill hanging on a empty expanse of white wall. We didn't keep the fish, but we could have had a taxidermist replicate it. Casey Johnson, 2 outs, man on first. Nate drew the walk. This team's been really good about setting up our non-runners so that we get Diamond Dan on the bases. Dan is at first base, replacing the non-running. It's a good fastball thrown right by Casey. Placing the non-running Nate Stark. So we do have Dan at first base. Let's see how quick this guy is to first, or to home. I suspect it's very quick. I also suspect this catcher's got a cannon. Yep, Dan's going. Casey got a pitch to hit there, fouled it off. I would expect a slider off the plate here. I see 9 Tulsa Biscuits in the field, of course, and then I see another 9 or 10 in their dugout. I mentioned when I come down here, I look for 2 things on the other side. It's a 2-strike, 2-ball count to Casey. Don't know what this guy's throwing, but he struck out 3 Mammoth. This is going to be tough. It's going to be a tough one. I look for 2 things on the other side. I look for athletic builds, guys who look like they can run, because I think speed plays down here more than power. And then I look for long rosters. And this team has both. Not a lot of guys who look like the number 6 from the waist up. They don't look like inverted commas. I mean, not everyone looks like Diamond Dan, but it goes without saying. Not everyone's going to look like Diamond Dan. We compared Diamond Dan earlier to an adolescent silverback. I mean, he lacks the vertical biomass of a full-fledged adult. We suggested he runs a little bit like Harry Strug approaching the ball. We might compare him to a neutron star. I mean, he's densely packed. A neutron star, of course, lacks charge. And Dan is full of charge. So I would say that metaphor breaks down rather quickly.
Good morning. How are you?
Matt Grill on the mound. If you can hear in the background, but we've got his song playing. The Man by The Killers. I've mentioned this before. If you've ever watched that video, you know that song is kind of an ironic song. Killers are actually making fun of toxic masculinity, and Matt Grill is about as far removed from toxic masculinity as you're ever going to find. So on the one hand, the words fit, but maybe the message, the intended message of that song doesn't. So here we have the Biscuit leadoff hitter, a short man. You might have trouble riding certain roller coasters. You hit this guy in the leg? It's Billy next to me.
And then he told me that Meyer hit him in the other leg the game before. So I was like, well, mine didn't hurt that.
No. It's like he's got that leg if he got hit by Meyer.
Right, I got the other one though.
Yeah. See how sharp Matt is today. Matt went 9 last game. What were the guys saying about this pitcher? What's he throwing?
Tailing fastballs. Everybody I talked to said tailing fastballs.
To left.
Yeah, I think there's that sidearm slot he's coming from.
Yep.
But nobody said they thought anything was an off-speed pitch at all. It's just
Movement on that fastball because of that release. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of late swings.
Yeah.
Looks like a good live fastball.
Casey said he can see it really well because his hand starts out.
Sure.
So picking it up's not a problem. It just moves a lot.
I mean, you don't see 3 strikeouts from the top of the order, top of the Mammoth batting order very often. Bottom of the first. Here's a bunt. It's a foul ball.
Job left. That ball just died.
Yeah.
It didn't even spin at all.
Have you ever played on a field with grass that looks like this down here? I mean,
No.
It's short, but it's thick, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you can tell that they water it.
Yeah. I don't know if you heard me talking to that guy, but
Yeah,
he
yeah.
said this is like the holy grail down here for the Angels, other than the stadium.
Another
He also
bunt
said though
attempt.
they haven't mowed it like they normally would
Mm.
for like the pros, so that's why you can see they must make it even shorter typically.
Yeah. Really up ahead. 2 strikes.
Come on, Grilly.
Attempts that did not work. Bottom of the first. Nobody out. Leadoff hitter aboard for the Biscuits. No score.
Good move.
Good quick move by Matt. Runner back.
Go, Grilly!
Runner looks like a pygmy next to Nate Stark at first base.
It's like Altuve and Judge.
Right?
But I'll go with Pygmy. I like that better. Nothing. Hey, good pitch, Matt.
Attaboy, left.
I think the count may be full. 2-2 maybe?
It's 2 or
2-2? 2 or full.
2 bunts and 2 balls, I think. Yeah, no, it's full.
Good miss. Spot.
I think that was that changeup. Got so many swinging strikes from Lakeville yesterday. It's amazing. I was watching from behind home plate yesterday. The way that changeup just drops induces so many guys to swing over it. Full count. It's another hit to right. That's going to drop. Fair ball. Bushy cuts it off. And on first, running to third. He's going to be in there. First and third, nobody out. Mammoth in some early trouble.
Go, Grill!
The leadoff batter stood on the shoulders of the second batter, you'd have the height of this third batter. Very large man. I remember this guy. When we played this team, he's got kind of a downward tilt on his shoulders. I wondered if he would level that off, if it would create a downward action. But he loads. First and third, nobody out. Bottom of the first, no score. Mammoth went 1, 2, 3 in the first, 3 strikeouts. Billy told us that the pitcher relied on fastballs.
Let's go, Grilly!
Sidearm, easy to pick up, but a lot of late movement on it. Or a lot of movement anyway on it. We're going to have to try to keep this game close.
Nice pitch, that a kid.
I don't think runs are going to be all that available. How was the bar last night, Billy?
Oh, it was very low key.
Yeah.
Very low key. Had some food and a drink, and I was in bed by 9:30, I think, last night.
Yeah.
It was good. Catch any fish?
Yeah, I was saying we took the pontoon out. All 4 of us went out. Not Pat Hanlon, but had a baby to have to deal with. Yeah, Nate Stark caught a fish.
Nice.
He's not a big fisherman, but he
Nice.
caught a bass. That was fun.
I saw the makeshift cooler you had with the the pot.
Yeah, we had a spaghetti
The
pot
spaghetti
with ice.
pot with ice in it. That was well done.
Yeah.
Improvise.
Yeah, well, I mean,
You gotta do what you gotta do.
right. I think it's something MacGyver would have been proud of, right?
For sure. For sure.
It's a foul ball off to the left. Grilly up 2 strikes on this hitter.
Let's go, Grilly. Win it, kid.
Mammoth have a relatively rested Nate Stark. Waiting in the wings here if Matt discovers that no day's rest is not going to work. There's a foul ball off. Who all went out last night? You guys?
The Ralstons and us, and then Lippert and Grill joined us.
Gotcha. Oh, there's a seed right up the middle. Runner first going to advance to third. Runner in third is going to score. 1-0 Biscuits.
Nothing coming, Case. Nothing coming.
Biscuits flexing their muscles early. Jump out to a 1-0 lead. First and third, nobody out. Bottom of the first. Biscuits up 1-0.
Kid, way to get ahead. Let's go.
Walk through the dugout after this inning, see what the guys are thinking. There's a pop up behind us.
You're good. You're good.
Saw that the Grays lost the first round of the playoffs yesterday. They played a Seattle team. Billy will tell you that those Seattle teams are always really good.
So tough.
In here, leave it.
Bruins, another Minnesota team, won their first game and then lost their second. I think they played it.
That's correct, yeah.
Yeah, I think they played a team. I don't know if they played a team they played in the round robin. I don't know if they won or lost. But a playoff win down here is an achievement. Lumberjacks had a number of years where we did not even get past the first game of the playoffs. I'm sure the Bruins wanted to win it all, but nice tournament for them. There's another seed to the left side. You can see Grilly kind of shaking his head and he's telling Lip that something's not working. That's 2, right, Billy? 2-0.
2 in, yep. 2 in, 2 on, nobody out.
Some hard contact on top of it.
Every one of them's been hit hard. The top half of this lineup is pretty tough though, regardless who's pitching.
For
Their
sure.
hitters tails off a bit towards the bottom, as most tend to, but
Well, they have that they got 20 guys on the roster.
yeah.
Yeah, when we walked up on them, these guys were playing Lakeville first day, and I
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
looking at them and thinking they just looked like they were really good. Yet to lose. Mammoth dropped 3 in the round robin. One was a game we didn't care about. Rested a lot of the regulars. The other 2, though, Tulsa beat us by 1, and then we lost to Lakeville in 13 by 1.
Sort of bad call. Bad call, took a run away.
Yeah.
Should've won that game.
I don't know if you saw the picture that Cork tweeted out, but that batter interference call
Yeah.
against Lakeville.
Yeah.
I thought in real time it was a wrong call, but Cork tweeted this picture out where the batter was basically
on the
plate.
plate, yep.
Now
Nothing lip. Attaboy.
First and second, nobody out.
Yeah, that picture was that was perfect. He was definitely on the plate.
But there's a clause in that rule where the catcher has to make an attempt to throw it to second. Now Lip had stood up,
He stood up.
but he told me afterwards he wasn't going to throw
I
down.
know,
so
he
run
told
around
us that
third.
too last night.
But as an umpire, if he's standing up and making a motion, the
Yep.
umpire doesn't know that. So
Right.
oh,
That just missed. Hey, force anywhere, boys. Let's go.
I think I heard Lip say nice pitch.
Yeah, that
Umpire
was,
called
that
it a
was-
ball.
that
Yeah.
was tight.
Well, the bases are loaded. Nobody out.
Let's go, Grilly.
Mammoth
Come on,
already
kid.
down 2-0. Bottom of the first. This is where it might be nice to have someone other
Yep.
than Matt Grill or Nate Stark managing. I think it's too early to think about lifting Matt, but I think a couple more runs here. Maybe you think about warming Nate Stark up. I guess the problem there is if they hit Nate around, we don't really have a lot behind him, right? Brian Duran, maybe?
If they start hitting Nate, we're probably in trouble anyway. But
That's-
yeah,
that's
Brian,
fair
maybe.
enough.
I don't know how his arm is.
Dolly,
It's all
bases
You.
loaded.
me.
Yeah.
We can go in and throw like 40.
Right. I did tell Nate on the drive-in that my arm was good if I
Yeah.
was needed, but
I mean, my arm's not good, but I could go in and throw slow again like I was.
I would walk away before I got out there. I would just say,
Atta kid.
is that strike 3?
Yep.
All right.
Atta boy, way to battle.
If we can get out of this only giving up 2, feel pretty good about that.
Yeah, I watched back a little video from you of me pitching. Thought it was quite hilarious. It's like, man, from the first day even, I'm like, man, I'm throwing slow.
I hope I didn't.
You didn't know it wasn't
Yeah,
you.
good,
You were
good.
actually like giving me a lot of compliments. You're like,
Good,
Bill
good,
looks
good.
like he's in control here. He's shaking off Patrick. And
Yeah, I do remember
knows what he
that.
wants to throw, and I was like, that's just because Patrick has a sign for shaking off. He does.
I mentioned this at one point. Like I say a lot of stuff, and then I'll go talk to people, and I'll realize it's wrong. Like
Well,
it's just completely
I
wrong.
bet that happens
In real baseball,
In real
yeah.
baseball too, with the guys that Dick Bramer's probably saying a bunch of crap that's not real too. You know,
Yeah.
It just you got to make up the story.
Exactly.
And-
Right. You
and
got.
It's probably partially correct.
Yeah.
You know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Really getting some swinging strikes now. 1 out, bases loaded. Biscuits up 2-0. Bottom of the first. May take Grilly a little. May take Matt. I found out that his mom doesn't like Grilly. She prefers Maddie.
She doesn't like that. Yeah, Maddie.
I think she's mortified that I keep bringing it up, but but I think it may take Matt a little while to kind of. I'm sure he's sore from yesterday.
He told me he
But
felt
I was-
really, really good before the game, but that's not, warming up in the bullpen and being in these high leverage situations are totally different things.
Right,
too.
right. Oh, that is crunched. That's way back. Diamond seems to have a line on it. He catches it.
That's a run.
He's going to score a run. Nice running catch by Diamond Dan out in center field. Yeah, he hit that a ton though. It's not going to hit at 422 feet. Did you see Alvarez's home run last night?
I think 450 was a low number on
Could
that.
not
That cleared that batter's eye out there or whatever. That was
believe
just
that.
tanked. Unreal. And this guy's coming in wearing work gloves. That's like Rod Carew style right there.
You're right.
That's impressive.
You're right. Those are not batting gloves.
No, those are. Now, if any of our guys are wearing those, they'd be choppers.
That's right. That's right.
Because we're from Minnesota. Got him! Oh, come on! He was out.
I think both.
He knows he was out.
Nate at first certainly thought he was out.
Yeah, he
Matt
got him in the
thought he was
helmet
out.
before his hand touched.
I've seen that before. I mean, very rarely, but I've seen guys go up there with work gloves.
Yeah, I have too. It's very rare. I don't know how you can feel the bat.
Why wouldn't he just wear batting gloves, right?
His hands hurt.
I mean, I wonder if it's an affectation, kind of he wants to be.
We won't bite.
I believe that's a leadoff hitter. Biscuits up 3-0, bottom of the first. Not keeping that runner close. You think we throw down a second here if he runs?
Maybe a cut play.
Shot to Dan Smolik at third. Oh, he airmailed that one. I mentioned yesterday, one run's going to score on that one. I mentioned yesterday that was what Dan was worried about playing third base, is that throw.
Is his arm hurting?
No, with Dan, it's...
Just in his brain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's not his natural position. He's got a good glove, right?
Yep.
Covers the ground well out there. Told me yesterday that he went from kind of an over-the-top delivery, which he throws harder. That's going to drop. A little flare to right field. Drops in front of Bushman. 2 more are going to score.
Coming, Lip, get it!
It's 5 runs. A little flare to right. Bush had a long way to go. Couldn't catch it. Yeah, Smolik was saying that he can get more on it over the top, but he feels more comfortable kind of a 3/4.
Sure.
Eases it in there. That one just, he threw it sidearm and it sailed high. So that's 5.
5 in.
5 spot against Mackerel in the first. I believe leadoff is on deck, so let's see if we can.
Heads up! I don't know if anyone can even go out there, call time and talk to him if you're not a manager in this tournament.
I think so. Might not be a bad idea.
If you don't get out of this.
Yeah.
Just go talk about pizza or something.
Mm-hmm.
Give him a breather.
Tulsa up to an early 5-0 lead. Bottom of the first. Billy's getting ready. Billy may go out there, have a word with Matt Grill. That was Bill Hausman we were listening to. Billy getting the day off defensively. Dan Smolik at third. Mike Dahl at short. Good change up there. Casey Johnson at second. Nate Stark at first. Scott Siebert in left field. Dan Casaza center field. And the tireless. Tried to use a fancier word there. The tireless. Brian Bushman out right field. Ball in the dirt. Hopefully we keep this game close. I thought we might set a record for number of viewers on this stream, since all of the all of the other Minnesota teams are done, and Sunday morning, a cup of coffee. There's going to be a line drive that drops. It's another run. That's 6. Oh, and there we missed the cutoff. Runner advances to second. But I suspect that if the game keeps following this trajectory, we may not reach that high water mark for viewers, which in the grand scheme of things isn't important, but then again, what is? Billy going out there. Billy's a leader on this team. Been playing forever. Okay, it looks like we are bringing Nate Stark in to warm up. I think that's smart. I mean, I'm sure Matt would prefer to stay out there, kind of maybe get a little more loose, see how his pitches start moving. But this is do or die, right? We're already down 6. They've got a really good pitcher on the mound. And we got a good pitcher waiting in the wings of Nate Stark. Nate threw 1 game this tournament, hasn't pitched since. He should be relatively rested. I don't think Nate necessarily recovers as quickly as Matt. Certainly not as quickly as Ken Wangler. But Nate says that he feels good. I know he wanted to pitch this game. He's not upset he didn't. He agreed. Well, he made the decision that Matt should pitch. The idea was that if Matt felt good, there's a little flailing swing at Dan. Let's see if Dan throws better here. Down in the dirt, but it was scooped. We'll take a walk. So these guys got off the field. I think we're going to see some consternation in the dugout, but let's take a walk here. See what the lads are saying. Not surprisingly, Tommy Lippert. Enthusiasm.
Oh yeah, here we go, boys. Here we go. Hey, plenty of ball game.
Keep a respectful distance when we're down, because some people don't appreciate the camera in their face. So what we hope to see this top of the second is the Mammoth respond with a run, even if it's just 1 run. 9 innings is a long way to go, obviously. Nate can hold them and chip away. What we heard from Bill, who talked to some of the hitters, this pitcher struck out 3 Mammoth in the first inning, sandwiched around a walk, that he threw nothing but fastballs, but his fastballs had a lot of movement. You see that often when you got a guy with this delivery. More sidearm than 3/4. I'm sure he's got more than just that fastball.
Come on, Nate!
I suspect this guy has some professional experience. I mean, I don't base that necessarily on his stuff. I mean, he's not throwing as hard as Matt Meyer did. I base it more on just the length of this roster. And Lakeville did say that they faced an ex-pro pitcher in their first game, round robin, and they chased him in the first, or maybe the second or the third. I don't know. They chased him early. So they have some ex-pro pitcher. Maybe it's this guy. Just slings it in there. It's a strike. Nate Jackson. Nate's consistently barreled the baseball this tournament. Pitch down. Mammoth are patient hitters. We don't have a lot of free swingers.
Oh, let's go, Jax.
Pitch had some good velocity.
Hey, nobody better. Be a lead up there, 8.
I think we may see that as a strikeout pitch. Elevated fastball coming from down low.
Yep.
We see Matt Meyer do that. Every once in a while, Matt will drop down, absolutely sling that fastball in there. I believe the count is 3-1. It'd be nice to lead off walk here. Ball 4. All right, that's good. Let's get a run this inning. In terms of the competition, this is the Mammoths' first year in the Mountain Division. Last year and every year that the Lumberjacks came down here, we played in the Cactus. Did not allow ex-pros. This year we're in the Mountain Division, but we were told we're actually playing by the American Division rules, which allows AAA pitchers, AAA players or pro players. I think that's why Matt Meyer was able to pitch. Matt made it all the way to AAA with, I believe, the Angels organization. By the Mountain rules, he should not have been able to play. But I think because we're the highest division down here, I think we're playing by the higher division rules. And thus Matt got some time down here, which was fun, which is cool. Nate Jackson at first base. I would not call him a stolen base threat. This pitcher is throwing a lot of balls.
Hey, make him bring it, Scotty.
Hey, you make bud.
I think we've got a 3-0 count. See if he can throw a strike. That's out.
Hey, no, you.
Yeah.
Hey, there you go. Time it up. There one.
I think he intended for that one to be right down the chute, but that one came up under his hands, caught enough of the plate, but not exactly a 3-0 pitch I thought we'd see. There was a fastball, caught a lot of the plate. Scott fouled it off. Moved to 3-2. The top of the second inning, Biscuits scored 6, bottom of the first. Mammoth find themselves down big early. Full count. Oh, he did not go.
No.
Actually, I don't know if he went. It looked like, I don't know if he got that head of the bat back. That was a ball. I'm surprised he didn't check with the, well, I guess the field ump was behind the pitcher, runner on first base, so. That wasn't an egregious strike 3 call. It's very possible he broke the plane of the plate. Here's Dan. I think Dan is going to be troubled by that throw first inning. Dan fielded a ground ball. Airmailed Nate at first base. A couple runs came in. Dan had a really good game at third base yesterday. Let's see if he can find some redemption here with a gapper. Dan's wife Cindy was going to come down on this trip, but she caught strep throat right before the tournament. We had some sicknesses early on. Pat Hanlon caught COVID. All right, that ball was well past him as that swing completed. So she couldn't make it. Dan doesn't look particularly comfortable in the box right now, judging by that swing. Yeah. Fastball up and away. Billy Hausman.
Throw one up, Bill.
See if Billy can put one right center gap.
There you go, Bill.
Brushes him back a little bit with that fastball. Pitcher getting behind, clawing his way back in these counts.
Go, Bill.
Boy, he even throws sidearm on his pickoff attempt. That was interesting. He spun it out. It almost looked like he was underhanding it to the first baseman.
Bill, let's go. Come on, Bill.
Got him.
Hey, let's go. Come on, Bill.
Oh, I think it hit his bat. Sounded like it hit something. Apparently it was his
Good
bat.
take. Let's go. Good take. Be smart here. Let's go now.
That's too bad. It's a pitcher of this caliber. 2 outs, man on first. Mammoth down 6-0.
Hey, good
Good
cut.
pitch.
Let's go now.
That was something. Wasn't his fastball, I don't think. Fought that one off.
You need some work on your directions.
A humpback fastball came in under his hands. Fought it off. This guy's painting that outside corner. It might be the third called strike 3. You can see Billy there suggesting it was outside. I can't tell from here. Billy's saying so far outside. Looks like Matt Grill's going back out for another inning.
Okay.
To get him down. Mammoth have traveled well this tournament. A lot of family, friends, young children, older children. Pretty quiet. Pretty quiet around the complex too. Tournament coming to an end. I think we're the last group down here. At least this is the last week. I think the next tournament on the calendar is the Palm Springs Desert Classic. TC MABL Skeeters will be attending that tournament. Try to do some streaming. That'll be a fun one. That'll be the weekend of Martin Luther King. So I believe this is their number 2 hitter. They batted all the way around the first inning. That one just over the outstretched glove of Casey Johnson. Casey got off the ground on that one. As a middle-aged man, you stop thinking in terms of vertical, and you just start thinking in terms of leaving the ground. I did see some air underneath Casey's feet there. Casey can feel good about that jump. So now we have their large number 3 hitter. I think we'll just go with large. Used up a lot of the adjectives. Use something more commonplace to describe this hitter. Little surprised maybe to see Matt Grill back out there. It's a chopper. Oh, off his glove. Matt, athletic enough. And of course, as an announcer, I have to throw in, display the presence of mind to pick that ball up after it hit his glove and throw the runner out. It drives me crazy when announcers say, when it's just a simple baseball play, and they fill the airtime by talking about presence of mind. It actually happened last night. in the Astros broadcast. There was that broken bat that nearly hit Wheeler, and the ball, so the bat was flying through the air, nearly hit Wheeler on the mound. Didn't nearly hit Wheeler, went well over his head, but the ball was coming at him. And John Smoltz talked about how Wheeler had the presence of mind to field the ball with that bat in the air, throw out the runner. That ball gets under Dan's glove at third. Kind of a sliding, diving attempt, not an easy play. Call that an infield hit. I'm actually a huge John Smoltz fan. I was talking to Nate yesterday, and I told him, I think and I've said this before, I apologize to people who've listened to these streams over the years because I end up repeating myself a lot, but I think it's the job of a color commentator to bring out things in the game that a casual fan wouldn't see otherwise. It's one reason, and I take shots at Bert Blyleven, which isn't fair because he does this for a living, Hall of Fame pitcher, etc. But one thing I don't like about Bert Blyleven is he tells you things you can see. So he'll say things like he extended his arms and hit the ball sharply up the middle. Well, I can see that. Smoltz peels layers back. And he does it consistently. He rarely says anything that's commonplace or mundane or that you can see with your own eyes. He brings that wealth of baseball experience to the broadcast. It's a big swing. And he shares things that you wouldn't know unless you had that experience. I learned things. Every game I watch that Smoltz is calling, I learned things. Now, I think he probably, as Bill Hausman suggested early on, I think every announcer probably certainly says things that aren't true. I mean, I do it. I mention to Bill, I often say things and then I'll take a walk with the camera and look for confirmation from the guys and I'll find I was wrong. But so, Smoltz isn't. Oh no! Oh, come on! That should have been a double play. Instead, a run scores. There's a ground ball to Grilly. Ground ball to Matt. Excuse me, Matt. You saw caught it. Had a double clutch. Looked like Mike Dahl might have been a little late getting into the bag. Or maybe not. It's a long way to go from the hole. Rather than leading Mike Dahl with the throw, kind of threw behind Mike Dahl. Ball gets by him. Runner scores first and second. That's 7 now for Tulsa. So when I'm doing these things, I have to kind of do both the play-by-play and to the extent that you want to call what I do the color. And I have to do both because I don't think it's easy to see what's going on these streams. I know it's not because I watched the 25 plus. So right there, I kind of maybe did what I just accused Bert Blyleven of doing. I described what happened. And if this were a better screen, it might have been more visible. But I don't think it's easy to see the action on the field. So I do try to telegraph some of this stuff. But I don't think it's the color guy's job to do that. That's why I like Bert Blyleven. That's why I like John Smoltz. I know some people think he talks too much. Just like some people undoubtedly think I talk too much. But you always have the option to watch the Diamond Vision cast. I stress that as repeatedly so that people know they don't have to listen to this. At any rate, I think we're down 8 now. And we'll stream this to the bitter end if it indeed turns into a bitter end. There's a broken bat that's going to drop. Billy puts up his glove as if he's going to catch it. Does not catch it. Well, it's the bases. I'm not behind home plate. I can't exactly see what's happening with Matt. I think this is almost certainly a combination of Matt pitching on no days rest and, this is a Mountain Division lineup. This is getting a little
You do have the
ugly.
best view in the house, but at least.
Yeah, which isn't necessarily what you want in a game
not
like
always the
this.
best, right?
Yeah.
Probably want to be, up there?
Right.
Maybe over there?
Right.
Waving?
Right.
Some binoculars?
Yeah, it's a great view. Yeah, I think this is a combination of Matt just being tired and
Other
his
news,
hitters
we're doing
being
a great
really
job
good.
seeding here. Seeding the grass. You
Yeah.
can see the grass is beautiful.
Yeah. This grass,
trying to distract you.
I said like I've never seen grass. I've never, I've been coming down here a lot of years. I've never played on grass this nice down here.
Right.
Like it's always short and it's kind of burned out.
Right.
This isn't Northeast Athletic,
No.
but it's a little thicker than what we're used to. It's a chopper foul. That was Nate Jackson. One of these years, I wish Nick Tuckner would come down. Nick is a mammoth. Nick actually announces, has been announcing for years. I think you'd get a very polished, professional week of streaming if Nick came down with the team one year, but got a wife, a child, not a boy, let's call him, rather than a child, job. One of these years, though, we'll get Nick doing this. We'll return to the dugout. Bases loaded. I do hope that this doesn't turn into like there's a fly to center. Diamond's going to catch it, but it's going to score a run. Runner on second, Tags going to make it. I do hope this doesn't turn into like a 21-2 game. Would it be better to lose 21-2 or lose 6-5? I think I'd rather lose 6-5. We lost 6-5 to these guys in the round robin. (21-2) makes it look like you're just completely outclassed. We lost by one of these guys in the round robin. And last at bat, there was a very strong line of wind and rain, and shortly after that, hail that blew through. We had to play our last at bat through that. There's a chopper to Dan. Comes off Dan's glove. I don't know if he's going to get this. He gets there. That's out. That one popped in and out of Dan's glove. Dan recovered through a strike. It's good to see. So we go to the top of the third. Looking at Grill's face. So accustomed to seeing him smile. Not a smile today. I'm sure he's very frustrated. Pounding his cleats on the chain link fence. So the Mammoth have their work cut out for them. Randy and I were talking before the tournament, and there was some talk of maybe approaching Sigler and saying, look, we're down some of our really important pieces. Kenny's not down here. Randy, I think at that point, was pretty confident he wasn't going to make the trip. Of course, Emery Hull, the baseball deity, if you watched the Cardinal streams, 25 Plus group was down here the week before we came down here. You saw what just a dominant performance he put up in that tournament. He played with us last year. This year, the tournament got rid of the age exemptions. Emery was 33 last year, 34 this year. They did not grandfather previously exempted players into the tournament, so we lost Emery. So, we were down some pretty important pieces. And, Randy and I talked. Randy wondered to me. Randy manages his team. I'm kind of his sounding board to some things. Randy was kind of wondering aloud whether we should approach Sigler and say, look, the mountain may be a bridge too far for this team at this point. But we talked, and Randy had come down with the Lumberjacks in years past, and there were years where if we made the playoffs, maybe we lost in the first round. And, we talked about how it was still a fun experience, and rather than kind of hide from this challenge, we just decided, well, we'll come down here, we'll see what this Mountain Division level of play is all about, and, we don't have to win every tournament, right? And I don't want this to sound like a benediction. I mean, we still could easily come back in this one, but what I'm saying is, win or lose, I feel like it was the right decision to play on this level. I feel like the top 4 teams that made, it's a nice deep fly ball to right, but right fielder's going to catch that. It's Matt Van Overbeek at the plate. I feel like win or lose, we were not outclassed from a talent perspective down here. Neither was Lakeville, for that matter. I would put this pitcher right up there with Dave Meyer in terms of arm talent, but I think Lakeville's had 2 of the best 3 starters we've seen in this tournament. Lakeville played these guys to a tie as well. Of course, we beat Lakeville, so this is not a team that's going to outclass us from a talent perspective. You know, so much depends on your starting pitching. You've got a guy out there who doesn't have any rust, presumably with a roster this long. 6-0 record. That's going to rattle around the ankles of the shortstop. Mike Dahl reaches.
I don't want to get in your way. Is this in your way? Kinda.
Mike Dahl reaches back to the top.
Okay, so you make him uncomfortable. Like that. No.
As long as you're not holding hands.
To finish the thought, I think regardless of what happens this game, it was the right decision. We've been very competitive. We're in the championship game.
I don't want to get in your way.
Oh yeah, right.
I'm glad we stuck with this Mountain Division seeding. There's Diamond Dan. It's only the second bunt we've seen this tournament. Oh, we called him safe. Not sure about that, but nice play by the pitcher. Very, very difficult to throw Dan Casas out at first base when he gets it down on the left side. That probably caught more of the mound side than Dan would have liked. I think he would have preferred to push that more down the third base line. Pitcher was able to get to that ball pretty quickly. Fielded it without incident. Threw a strike to first. Dan beat it by a step. Now we have guys on first and second base. Maybe 1 out. I should know this. Don't. We'll get a score in an inning after this half inning. If you're just joining, the Mammoth are way down. Top of the third. I think it's probably 8. Sharply hit ground ball to the right side that gets through. Hold Mike Dahl up at third. I think that's smart.
Nobody better. Let's go.
You can chip together a couple of runs. Why not?
Come on, Nate.
Nate Stark. Bases loaded. The Mammoth trying to gather momentum and start a stampede. Let's see what Nate Stark can do. Yeah, Mike Dahl hit that hard. I'm sorry, Mike Lippert hit that hard. Shot it through the right side. It's off the plate. Nate, as we've said about a lot of the hitters, but it's certainly true for Nate Stark, very patient hitter. We've talked about his unflappability. We were in the car and I was talking to Nate about how I think he and Matt Grill are unflappable, and Dan Smolik chimed in that he thinks he's very flappable. You hear the word unflappable a lot. You don't hear flappable very often. Nate Stark very quiet at the plate. And a lot of tension in his stance. Took a strike there. A lot of space between the left fielder and the left field line. He does like to flip it to the left side. Get something in the air out there.
All right.
Takes the walk. We have seen this pitcher working behind often. He's rallied often, thrown good pitches with full counts, with deep counts, called strikeouts, but that time he missed. Namath get on the scoreboard.
Let's go, Casey.
Check my phone,
Come on,
make
five.
sure we're still live here. Hold on. Okay, I think we're still live.
Good eye.
Casey had a inside the park home run a couple days ago. Bailed the ball over the right fielder's head.
Whoa. Okay.
I heard Casey react to that one. Said, "Oh." I was way in. Let's see if he goes out or he comes back in. Come in and then go out.
Hey, good hack. Good cut.
I think he caught a lot of the plate there. Casey's rolling over the ball right now. Releasing a little early with that front shoulder. I would expect something off the plate here. It was off the plate. Casey swung through it. Casey's going to be really unhappy with that one, I think. I suspect, especially after getting that strike call that wasn't a strike. I could hear him saying it was inside. It's tough, man, when you get a pitch like that called a strike on the inside part of the plate. When you get down 2 strikes, there's so much you got to worry about, right? You got to worry that the pitcher's going to go back to that same spot. But you're also aware that he threw you in, and you're thinking, well, what if he goes out? He went out there. Casey couldn't put a bat on it. It's a good pitch. I believe there's 2 outs.
Jack, let's go, buddy.
Hit here would open things up a little bit. See if Nate can turn something around here. Oh boy, that's that Matt Meyer kind of sidearm giddy up fastball. The few times I've seen Matt pitch, it seems like when he gets up 2 strikes, he drops down and he throws that sidearm gas. Nasty pitch. It's got to be some kind of slider. I mean, you saw that.
Hey, let's win this inning, guys.
It's how that Nate recognized a fastball, but fortunately for him, it was not a fastball. That ball broke. Nate was flailing, could not make contact. Okay, let's get a score in an inning. Hey, Mark, what's the score and what's the inning? What are we at here? Are we down 8? What's the score and what's the inning?
9-1.
9-1, and this must be the
Bottom of the 3rd.
bottom of the 3rd.
I mean, really.
9-1, bottom of the. Is it really? No, it's bottom of the 4th. Bottom of the 4th. Most of us are flying out tonight. I think most of us are going to be on the same flight. I think there's a Sun Country out at 6, and then we're flying United at 7. I upgraded. I actually upgraded to one of the more expensive seats near the front of the plane. I could have grabbed an exit seat, but we were in the car, and all the guys in the car politely but firmly suggested that I was not the man for an exit seat. I then suggested that if there was commentary to be done on a situation, I'd be the man for that. So I took a seat away from the exit, but near the front of the plane. Because I think in my deathbed I'm not going to miss the $50, but I think I will enjoy the extra space. That 3-hour flight. It's a foul ball from number 1. Number 1 in the scoreboard. Certainly not put number 1 in your hearts. So one hitter with work gloves for batting gloves. Batter more traditionally attired. There's a ground ball to Casey at second. Casey pounds his glove. Fields the ball, throws him out, 1 out. See if Matt Grove can settle in.
11 for 6.
Wow, they're substituting hitters in already. Sometimes a sign that a team feels like they have the game in hand. I don't suspect that this guy can hit, though. A menacing bat waggle. Big swing. Foul back. Bright yellow helmet. Looks a little bit like a sunflower. It's kind of a lazy bat path through the zone there. Not a lot of snap on that swing. Led to a little pooch shot. Nate Stark gloves it. It's 2 outs, 2 quick ones. I think we're back to the top now. Batter has a build of a hobbit, but he hit a very sharp line drive in his first at bat. Big swing. I like the swing of this guy. The obvious comp is Altuve. Because it's obvious, I won't reach for that low-hanging fruit. Let's go back to the Hobbit comp. Which Hobbit? Samwise was a little heavier. We won't tar him with that brush. Let's just go Frodo. I mean, I could see how someone might be insulted to be called a Hobbit. So let's at least upgrade him to the status of Frodo. Did he just call him out on that pitch? Wow. That pitch struck me as way down and way out. Let's call that an astonishingly bad call by the umpire.
Play hard, let's go.
Mammoth way down. Clean inning that time, though. I think we're having a huddle over here. It's Diamond Dan. Let's hear what he's got to say. And we missed it.
Great, let's go, Mammoth!
I won't be submitting that stretch for Emmy consideration. Team rallies in front of the dugout, and I'm prattling on about hobbits. Oh, we got a new pitcher?
Tommy got fire up the radar.
I think this is a new pitcher.
The radar again.
Casey, this is a new pitcher, right?
Yeah.
An interesting decision. An interesting development.
They knew I was on the last case.
Yeah, you knocked him out, Case.
Yeah. And throw some bitches.
I wonder if this is clearly that, well, that last pitcher did have some control issues. We did score a run. Felt like he was never really, felt like he was in command, notwithstanding the base runners he gave up last inning. So I don't know if they're bringing this guy in. The plan all along was to bring him in. Maybe that last pitcher has pitched a lot of innings in this tournament.
Hey, we got
I'd say this guy looks capable, certainly. Don't think he's got the fastball that last guy had, but we'll see. Heard Dan trying to kind of cheer the team. Got there late, but there was a pep talk. Okay, that was something off speed, also off the plate. Fans behind us imploring the pitcher to let Scott hit it. I think the pitcher will have other ideas. Just got ahead of that one. I believe there's 2 strikes. Pitcher staring in for extra beat. Scotty held up there. Scotty got called out on a check swing strike 3 his last at bat. Very close call as to whether he swung or not. We're gonna get here. Good pitch. You heard good eye. It was a good eye, but it was also a good pitch. Nice fastball. Sailed up and away though. Would expect a breaking pitch. It's off the plate. Scotty swings through it. That's 1 out. Dan Smolik. Let's see what Dan can do.
Starts up, Danny.
So after 1 batter, I would say that if this is a downgrade in the pitching department, it's not much. I'm not sure it's a downgrade at all. Both these pitchers have had good velocity. Mammoth down big, 9-1. It's a little flare to left. I think it's going to drop.
Here we
It
go,
does
Danny!
drop.
All right. All right, Bill, let's go.
Left fielder flopped forward, not unlike the fish we were catching. Had a lot of fish flopping around the floor of the pontoon yesterday. Some inexperienced fishermen. And it must be said, some less than sure-handed experienced fishermen. One of those is holding the camera right now. I may have dropped a bass on the floor of the boat. There's a little flare to right. I think that's going to drop. Nice catch by that center fielder. Oh my God. Heads up at home. That ball looked like it was headed back to Minneapolis. I'll tell you what, that center fielder caught it. He didn't just airmail the first baseman. He didn't just airmail the chain link fence. He airmailed the whole dugout. I don't see a ball overthrown by that much very often. At any rate, it allows Dan Smolik to move to second base.
Keep hitting it hard.
2 outs, man on second. See if we can get him in. For a second, it looked like that was going to drop, but that center fielder's very fast. Raced in and caught the ball. Yeah, I dropped a bass. Flopping around on the floor of the boat. Nate Stark, who was rather smug, he caught what we determined was the 3rd best fish of the tournament. Not the tournament, well, the 3rd best fish of the trip. Kind of gave me a smug smile, as if to say, this isn't hard. And then when I dropped the fish at the bottom of the boat, it was flopping around. Nate regarded that with a degree of exasperation. I corralled the fish, though, got him back in the water. Matt Van Overbeek.
Hey, go, man.
Good contact his first at bat. There he got hit.
All right, Mike, go.
Probably not a point in the tournament when you want to get hit. Never a good time to get hit. Well, there are probably some good times to get hit. Allows a winning run to score and leads to a dog pile. I doubt there's never been a hit by pitch that's led to a dog pile. I've never been on the bottom of a dog pile. I joke with the Skeeters all the time that it's kind of on my bucket list to get dog piled at some point. We're not the dog pile kind of team. takes wins in stride.
Is it the pink shark? Okay, we have
There's a ground ball. Oh, that would have been 2 if they needed to. Of course, they didn't because there was 2 outs.
All right, let's shut them down, boys.
Get some runners, guys.
Instead, the pitcher knocks the ball down and flips it to first for the easy out. You'd think it would be easy to keep track of things like outs and scores and innings. If I had a scorebook in front of me, it would be. Maybe it should be, despite the fact that I don't have those things. Matt Grill back out there for another inning. Settling into this game. Tulsa scored big early. Plated 6 runs in the first inning. Tacked on 3 more over the next couple. I think we're in the bottom of the 4th at this point. Maybe bottom of 5th already. Mammoth down 9-1. Mammoth won their first playoff game yesterday against a very familiar foe, Lakeville Lobos. Another really well-played game. Very friendly game. After the game, Tori came over. A couple of us were watching the second semifinal game. These guys were playing the Bandits. And he wished us all good luck. And Tori is always very gracious in defeat, and that is noticed by members of this team. Imagine the last thing he wanted to do was come over and congratulate a team that I think it's fair to say has had their number the past couple of years, but it's a fly ball to Bushy out and right. Bushy catches, that's 1 out. Tori came over, chatted with us for a bit. I think he also put something out on Twitter. I think I saw a tweet by Tori wishing us luck, so it's a great thing to see.
Like, I love the enthusiasm.
I just heard this man's nickname is Huggy Bear. If I would have been asked to come up with potential nicknames for this man, and I had an unlimited amount of time to come up with a nickname, at some point I would have come up with Huggy Bear just because I would have run out of word combinations. But I think we would have been here for many, 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 many years. I get the bear, but Huggy?
Which I'm sure he also was very proud of that.
It's a broken bat. And resist a presence of mind comment and just point out that Nate Stark fielded that and touched the base. You can see the batter as he walks back, Huggy Bear. That's a shard right there. Could beat off a wrench-wielding punk with that bat. Engaging a duel. As I said, Matt Grill is settling in. The question is whether the hole is too deep for us to climb out of. Down 9-1, facing some pretty good pitching, and also a very good lineup. I think this team has won this Mountain Division in the past. Somebody told me that. Reaching for a ground ball. Ooh, a nice backhand by Dan, but very difficult hop. Dan looked like he gloved it almost behind him on the backhand side. Looked like it got down by the heel of his glove though. Popped out. bounced around his feet. Runner made it to first. Huggy Bear. The first base now running for what this man's nickname is. Looks like a player, whatever it is. There's another guy who looks like a baseball player. 45. Big swing, little hit. Matt Grill retires him with a toss of the ball to first base. The Mammoth are slowly picking up speed. The airplane attempting to take off, but we're running out of runway. Let's take a walk.
Top of the order. Solving a couple runs.
It's Diamond Dan Casazza.
Chicken park.
It's our inning. It's our inning.
Diamond Dan leading off. We've had some fun talking about Diamond Dan in this tournament. Don't know how you would feel about the Kerry Strug comparison. I wonder if Dan could play Kerry Strug in a biopic. Kerry Strug was the Olympic gymnast who famously vaulted with a bad leg, stuck the vault, was carried off by, is it Bella Carrioli? I think if we were to cast Diamond Dan as Kerry Strug, he's got the run up to the vault down, we know that. Now, he's male. I suppose you could rely on CGI to cover that up, but I prefer to think that Diamond Dan, who's good at everything, could act his way into a situation where he could pass as a pixie, adolescent, barely post-adolescent female gymnast. Diamond Dan outweighs her now and presumably when she was a Olympic gymnast by probably 60 pounds. So maybe he has to drop some weight. Probably a full body wax, if he's not doing that already. Dan's got a rich baritone. Kerry Strug had the voice of a pipsqueak. There's a shot to the right side. I do think if I asked Diamond Dan, could you play Kerry Strug in her biopic? I think he would laugh. He would say no. And then there'd be a beat there, and then he would say, yeah, I could do that.
Push him around, Mike. Push him around.
Dan is nothing if not a confident man. Here's Mike Lippert. A well-struck base hit through the right side by Diamond Dan. I'd get this inning started. Second inning for this pitcher. There's a pop-up. I think it's going to get out of play. Lands behind us, foul. I talked to Mike before the game about his preparation for this tournament. He said that he probably works out harder the weeks leading up to this tournament than he does the rest of the year. You know, and he's getting ready for the regular baseball season as well, but he knows he's going to be called on down here to do a lot of catching. It's been really nice temperature-wise, but we've been down here before when the temperatures approached 100 degrees. Mike never complains. There's not a noticeable decrease in his play either at the plate or behind the plate. Mike does our catching as the tournament goes on. It's just a steady reliable anchor on this team. That's why early in this tournament I suggested that as a fly ball to right, center fielder camped under it, catches it. I suggested that if we had something like a captain's patch on this team, and I was asked who should wear that patch, I think I would suggest Mike Lippert. I'm not sure if asked what the qualities of a captain are, but I think the qualities that Mike shows on the field, the ones I just talked about, are the qualities that any good captain would have. There's a one hopper. Catch it through that one hard to the covering shortstop, but it took about 3 hops to get there. I saw him look at his hand. Probably some moisture. The ground was slick with dew when we started this game, 9 o'clock our time. Assuming the sun has dried that out. Man on second, 1 out. Mammoth down 9-1. We'll get an inning confirmation after this half inning, but I believe it's top of 5 or top of 6. It may be top of 6. Tulsa scored 6 in the first, tacked on a few more. Mammoth haven't been able to do much against either of the pitchers they've seen. Good take by Nate. Nate and I were speculating last night whether we could hit Zach Wheeler. And I think we agreed that certainly not now. I mean, by hit, I think we could probably make really crappy contact, but what I suggested to him was, when we were in our prime, say 24, 25 years old, that just as major league pitchers who aren't hitters, they're just athletes, typically hit 100, 150 maybe. The better ones get over 200. There's a line drive up the gut. Dan's going to score easily. You can see that mad scamper that we've admired. No handspring. I kind of wish Dan would drop into a handspring. Really put the exclamation point on the Kerry Strug comparison, but alas, no handspring there. He does score the run. Nate, perhaps the hottest hitter at the second half of this tournament, comes through again with a solid single up the middle. It's Casey Johnson. Mammoth get 1 run closer. We're talking about whether we could hit Zach Wheeler, and I suggested that now I don't think we could, at least not with anything. I mean, you wouldn't use the word authority when describing what the contact might be like. But I think when we were 24, 25, just as major league pitchers get in the batter's box and make contact against major league pitching, I think as amateur hitters, I think we put the ball in play. I don't think we hit any better than your average major league pitcher, but I think we'd get the occasional hit just like the major league pitchers do. I guess I don't think of a major league pitcher as being a level of athlete necessarily beyond, say, a Dan Casaza. Or even me when I was 25. Certainly there are pitchers who are. Anyway, let's put that digression to bed and get back to the game. We got Casey Johnson at the plate. Mammoth down 9-2. No. Casey was hoping to fool the 2 umpires into that being a foul ball that hit the ground. That was I'm sure it was hard to see. That was a end of the bat, little flare to the first baseman. The first baseman dropped to his knee in foul territory and gloved it. I think the guys were hoping that the first baseman caught it on a hop, but I saw it pretty clearly. Went in his glove. That was an out. You can hear Billy wondering. It was an out. At any rate, Mike Lippert got back to the bag before the first baseman could kind of snake back with his foot, touch the bag with his foot, ball in his glove. So It's just an out. But it is an out in a game where we're running out of them. Let's see if Nate Jackson can turn one around. I saw Nate Jackson hit a home run in a playoff game a couple years ago. He was with the Cardinals at the time, I believe. Might have been against the Coyotes. Randy may remember. That was at the Burnsfield complex. It's back-to-back fields. My goodness, that was identical. It's almost a carbon copy of what Casey did batter before. The end of the bat's soft line into the first baseman. Snatched it off the ground. Before it hit the ground, that's an out. So, Mark, what inning are we in now?
Bottom of 5.
Oh, only bottom of 5. Okay. I thought it was... I'm going to sit down here for a second. If you're joining the stream late, we're on a side field that apparently is never used except by the Angels. The groundskeeper was flabbergasted that they were letting us play on this field. We were supposed to be in a stadium, as this is a championship game. So I'm suspecting that they allowed us on this field because we got bumped from that stadium field. But one of the features of this field is that they have this on-field seating area. You can see the chain link fence behind me. Normally I'd be back there with the plebes. Today I'm sitting in the equivalent of first class on this side of the fence
I think so. Are you trying to coach?
with a kind of an L screen in front of me. A chair commemorating Bobby Newt,
I don't know. I played rings with this man last weekend.
a local baseball supporter, evidently. I'm going to sit on that bench. Thank Bobby Newt, wherever he is, for being a supporter of the game, allowing me the chance to sit down here while I describe the action. Check my phone, make sure we're still broadcasting. See anything to the contrary. Apparently the stream dropped yesterday. I kind of regarded that whole stream as a boring stream. Oh, there's a well-struck ball to left. We haven't seen a home run yet this tournament. Now we have. Towering fly ball into the palm fronds out there. Palm tree looking trees. They probably are palm trees. So it's 364 down the line, 422 to center. Big smile on his face as he crosses home plate. My goodness, I would be skipping around the bases if I did that. Not too much hooting and hollering. Team responds as if they've been there before. First home run we've seen, other than Casey Johnson's inside the park home run. Which is a home run. I know Casey's going to listen to this at some point, so put that out there. Definitely a home run. Batter out ahead on that one. Apparently we're only in the bottom of the 5th. Mammoth now down 10-2. Oh, that ball may have killed Mackrell. On his stomach. Not sure where that hit him. Let's see what part of his body he grabs. Probably has pains in many parts of his body. See the batter checking. Do a little fist bump there. Batter making sure he didn't do any permanent damage to Mackrell. See Matt kind of playing with the baseball. I wonder if, I can't believe if I would have hit him in the hand. I don't think he'd be able to close that hand. Maybe when he hit the ground, he kind of landed on his hand. He seems fine. Thumbs up, says yes. Maybe that caught part of his glove. Still looking at the hand. At any rate, that ball deflected off of Matt directly to Casey Johnson at second base. Would you call that a 1-4-3? I suppose you would have to. So if you're scoring at home, and my mom may be, pencil that in as a 1-4-3. If it's not right, we'll erase it when I get home. Put in the right scoring. This is a man who's wearing work gloves. Now, is that an affectation? Is that him kind of signaling to his teammates and his other team that he's kind of a, you know, he's workmanlike out there? He's a gritty, more of a gamer than maybe a pure athlete. Or does he just prefer the feel of work gloves on bat? I don't think I'm going to go over to him after the game and ask him. So we may never know. There's a ground ball to Mike Dahlett. Short, picks it up, throws a ball in the dirt, but a nice scoop by Nate Stark. I wonder if Mike's arm is getting a little ragged after a tournament of those throws on top of a start. I think I respect a man who wears work gloves to the batter's box. Affectation or not. Cork asked me during the pregame portion of this stream if I issued.
Tommy.
Hey, what's up? What's up, Carter? Good.
How you doing?
Well, we're getting pounded. It's 10-2. These guys are really good.
What happened to was that did it go off of him?
Yeah. It's kind of deflection.
Yeah.
I thought I might hit his hand, but he's kind of doing this, but he's fine. So. You guys took a tough one yesterday, huh?
Well, yeah. I don't know if you've noticed this, but at least in the Cactus, I think with Florida not happening, the competition was
it really good?
way different.
Really?
Yeah.
I said on the way out here, I saw you guys played Seattle. They always have good teams.
That's that 25 plus. Or
Oh, is it?
I
I wonder if that Josh Jacobson, who's active on Twitter, is on that team. Yeah, that Seattle.
They were. We would have had to have played a perfect game.
Yeah.
To beat them.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, 5 teams in this division, right? Top 4 made it, and the top 4 were evenly matched. So, I mean, to the extent that the Grays can hang with Mammoth and beat the Mammoth, and I think they can, you guys could have competed in this division. So if the Cactus is a lot better, then they probably could have just gone with one division.
Right.
This team is beating us 10-2. They're very good, but we lost by 1 in the round robin, and, you know, they're not dominating us. I mean, the score looks like it, but talent-wise, I don't think they're dominant. What kind of tournament did you have?
Decent.
Decent?
Yeah. Caught well.
Did you?
Hit decent.
Yeah. Big swing by number 11. Mammoth down 10-2. Bottom of 5th.
How about you? Did you get some of that?
I got 4 or 5. Yeah, I hit a double. Hit a double to right center.
Sweet.
Yeah, that felt good.
Right center.
Well, I mean, it was kind of.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, that's, you know.
I mean, it ended up in right center. The center fielder charged and it got by him. But we're going to call it a. We're just going to say double to right center, man. And then I pitched. Well, it was a game that didn't.
The old Tommy.
Yeah.
The old Tommy.
Yeah, just the slop. Didn't give up a historic home run. We did have a triple play though. That was pretty cool.
Cool, man. That must have been fun for you.
Yeah. It's fun to contribute. You know, I don't really play much, even back home. So just to do something, even to sop up innings that don't matter, I feel like I contributed, which feels good.
Are you guys thinking about new tournaments this winter?
The Skeeters are going to go down to Palm Springs. It's going to basically be the Skeeters, right? If we need guys.
You need.
Yeah. Okay. I know. There's guys like AJ would come, you'd come. There's all sorts of guys, but
it's your team.
Yeah, this is really going to be almost. I think we might bring Nate Stark for pitching purposes, but this is pretty much going to be maybe every Skeeter. We're going to take 12 guys down there. I think it'll probably be the first time like TCMABL has sent like just one team.
Sure.
I think maybe early on, like the Giants, maybe early
Yeah,
on.
well, we used to, yeah,
come
but
down
we were
here.
We might have been the Giants, but we were a bunch of different guys.
Yeah. So we're gonna get our doors blown off, but I mean, I never imagined I could talk the Skeeters into going somewhere. So
Sure. Going to a tournament?
that'll be fun, yeah. But next year, I'd like to start playing again. So either 40 plus or 45 plus. It's gonna be hard not coming down with this group. I'm still not sure what I'm gonna do, but if I do that and you want to come, like,
As a Lumberjacks?
yeah. I figure a smaller roster, get back to playing 5 or 6 games, and when I lose, Okay, let's get back here. It's a big cut by Scott Sievert.
I would just come down here for all 3 weeks.
Yeah, I'd like to do that, but 2 weeks would be aggressive. So I may have to choose between coming down here with these guys and that's going to be tough.
What team is it?
I'm gonna find out because I don't. Billy, what inning are we in? Is this the 6th or the 5th? Top 6? I think it's top 6. 6? Okay, top 6. Mammoth down 10-2. Ball's gonna get out of play. It didn't get out of play. Sliding attempt by the catcher. Face planted the chain link fence. Came away without the baseball. It's a foul ball. Scotty handing him the cage. Tulsa on pitcher number 2. First guy was slinging in sidearm fastballs. Kept the Mammoth bats quiet. This pitcher doing the same thing.
Good take.
Different delivery, same result. Mammoth need a 4 or 5 run inning to get back in this game. 10-2, 8 runs is a lot to make up against, above average pitcher and what appears to be above average defense.
Go, Scotty. Come on, baby, win the battle.
Yep, I saw Scott say yep. I just heard him say that was a good pitch. Off-speed pitch. Dan Smolik then had a hit earlier this game.
Hey, good cut. Good cut.
Good swing by Dan there. That was in the.
Had enough fun?
Yeah.
Who wants that?
Talking about a home run Dan Smolik hit in Puerto Rico. Dan,
All right, let's get tough
I think
now.
he really
Let's go,
wanted that
get
pitch.
tough.
Just laid on it. I think he fouled that all the way in. That was down and in like he likes it. Now he's in a little trouble, I would say, though. 2 strikes. Pitch off the plate.
There you go, good take.
So if he tries to elevate a fastball, 1 and 2. Worked in, out. Don't know that he's worked up yet. Yep.
Good cut, good cut.
Up and in.
Get her, Danny.
Dan
Let's go.
fought it off. In the bottom of the 5th, Mammoth down 10-2. Just need a couple runs here. It's right up the chimney. Someone's got to call this. First baseman, long way to come. Makes the catch, 2 outs. Good play. Pitcher vacated the field on that one. Left it for his infielders to figure out who was going to catch that. First baseman caught it right in front of the mound. It's Billy Hausman.
Yeah. Seriously.
2 outs.
There you go, Bill.
Grab one, Billy.
Ball 6.
Cork asked me in the pregame, I was mentioning this about
Hey, good cut. Heads up.
if I had to give out a couple of tip of the cap so far, who would
All
I
right,
give them
6er,
out
get
to?
yours. Let's go.
A lot of names were kicked around. Big swing. I think you got to give one to Matt Grill. It's hard, you know,
Hey, good
Matt's
stuff, Dale. Go,
so
win the bet.
good and so dominant in these tournaments. Pitch just past Lakeville in the first game of this tournament.
Run it out, run it out, run it out.
First playoff game of this tournament.
Yep.
All right, there's a little squid ball to the second baseman. The second baseman tried to barehand it.
Go, Matty.
Popped out of his hand. Bill reaches first. So I think I'd have to tip the cap to Matt Grill. I think there's a couple of other candidates when it comes to the Mammoth. Mike Dahl's had a really good tournament. Mike Lippert, of course. Casey had an inside the park home run. But I think I'd have to tip the cap to Dan Casaza just because he's been consistently excellent.
All right, whenever you're ready.
And then my third tip of the cap goes to the fellow on the Bandits who I suggested the first time I saw him that he had the look of a man who cuts his own hair. He had kind of a ponytail. Didn't look like he cared much about that hair. But that man hit it's a foul ball
All right, whenever you're ready. Let's
behind
go
us.
now.
That man hit a shot to left center. He's a heavier man. Looked a little bit like Buddha from the waist up. And he trotted in a second, and then he lifted his uniform and played his belly like a bongo drum, which I've never seen on a baseball field.
Hey,
I immediately became an enormous fan of that Bandit player. I talked to him at one point in the game. I went in to pitch, and first pitch I threw, he
All right, one. Come on. You're on
he
him.
almost broke the baseball. He hit a ball foul. And then I think I got him on a fly ball or something, but I reached first, I think fielder's choice or something. He was at first, and I told him, man, you just missed that first one, and he laughed. And I said, hang in there, you're going to get another shot at me. Wow, Billy almost picked off at first. But I won't forget the sight of that guy. When you think of just a gesture of unmitigated joy, right? Just boundless happiness. It's hard to top. It's a ground ball. It's going to get through. Billy wheeling. Billy should go to third. He's going to third.
Get there, Bill.
Matt racing into second base. Second and third. Mammoth have something going. See if Matt Van Overbeek lifts up that jersey and drums his belly. He doesn't have much of a belly. You have to have a belly if you're going to do that.
Come on, baby.
Such a kick out of that, though.
Catches, easy pitches when we do.
2 outs. Mike Dahl. Mike's hit the ball hard all tournament. Need him to take one to right field. Did that last game. In our stadium game, Mike Dahl hit a ball that landed on the warning track in left field.
Come on, Dal.
On the stream, I suggested that might be the furthest ball that Mike had ever hit. Then I went into the dugout and
Take.
Mike kind of shrugged his shoulder and said, yeah, I hit that well. Pitch seemed off the plate. Mike has a word for the umpire as he walks out of the box. Mike didn't like that second strike call. Nobody on our side did. See what the guys think.
Especially it just changed.
Well, that was too bad. It felt like had a chance there to pick up a little more momentum. Need to score a couple every inning. That didn't help too much. We've been around 20 viewers, maybe up to 25. I think we probably have to hit 30 to have the best viewership ever. I don't really know the most we've ever had. I don't think we're gonna get there today. That's okay. Cork and Casey like to play these things back during the off season. They're driving around. Casey will just pop one on when he's in the mood for baseball. Matt Carter and John Klepper. How you doing, John? How you doing? Good tournament?
Yeah, it was
Yeah, that's it. Did you come back?
I'll come back. I'll be back.
I'll be back. I'll be back. It's John Klepperidge. John, get out of the way. John is a catcher for Irish, TCMABL. Played some games in the Lumberjacks jersey. It's a fly ball to center field. Diamond Dan circles under it, makes the catch for the out. Ran into John on the plane down here. A lot of Minnesota representation in this tournament. Bruins and the Grays and the Cactus, Lakeville and the Mammoth and the Mountain. All 4 teams made the playoffs in their respective divisions. Bruins and the Mammoth each won one playoff game, the Mammoth attempting to win the second and final playoff game of this division. Not looking particularly good right now, down 10-2. Bottom of the 6th. There's a laser beam to right field. It's their 2-hitter. He's been hitting pretty well this game. It's Huggy Bear, number 33. Probably my second most favorite name I've heard in this tournament. The first, it wasn't even a nickname. His last name was Pugsley, and that was on the back of his jersey. I heard the fans on his team referring to him as Pugs. Let's go, Pugs. What a fantastic name, Pugsley. The fun we could have on this stream if we had a player named Pugsley. Huggy Bear takes a pitch down? Question mark?
Different crap.
Bottom of 6. Mammoth down 10-2. Runner on first base. Quick move by Matt Grill. Runner gets back. I wonder if I'm in the way of the people behind me. I don't know. Maybe I should sit down. There's a ground ball right side, gonna get through. It's a big hop off the lip. And on first, wheels around to third, first and third. Once again threatening are the Bandits.
Yeah, wrong guy covering the base.
We're all gonna have, I think most people are flying out, I mentioned before, 6, 7 o'clock, so we're all gonna have a number of hours to fill before our flight. I think I'm okay. I feel like I'm blocking the people behind me, but you know, when you're in the passenger section of a seating situation, you take what you get. I'm sprawled out here in first class on the field. A special seating arrangement. Matt battling on, you know, but for that first inning, take that first inning away, it's a 4-2 game. There is a seed to Dan at second. Really nice throw to Casey at short. Casey turns it, that's 2.
Great started, Dan.
Really nice. Nicely converted double play. That ball was hit really hard. Dan did a good job just to put a glove on it. Do a strike to Casey at second. Casey turned it around for the double play. So we go to the top of the 7th, I believe now. 9 more outs to score Well, 9 runs. No, wait. I think we've got a little cheering going on over here. I think Diamond Dan. Haven't seen a lot of Bushy this game. I feel like if this were a series, kind of like a 6-episode Netflix deal, or maybe HBO. I feel like if there was one character who would get a spin-off, it would be Brian Bushman. I mentioned before, he's a man who looks like he would have interesting hobbies. I suggested a hot air balloonist, maybe a spelunker. I feel like there's so many directions you could take the Brian Bushman character. I'm tempted to take take up that challenge. Put together a screenplay. Brian shares his house with a couple of turtles. They're named Eloy, after Eloy Jimenez, Vladi, after Vladi Guerrero, and then to mix in a pop culture reference, Riker, after William Riker, the #1 to Captain Jean-Luc Picard, Star Trek The Next Generation. Brian threw that name at me like I might not know who William Riker was. I suggested to him, I'm just glad he didn't call him Wesley Crusher, famously maligned figure in the Next Generation universe. Brian Bushman at that point understood that I understood appropriateness of that name. There's a shot to the shortstop. Shortstop fields it in the grass. Throws Diamond Dan out at first base. Hopefully that's not the last we see of Diamond Dan.
All right, Lip.
I feel like we need to give him a proper send-off.
Go, Choose. Come on, Lip.
Mike Lippert. I think Mike has batted second in all but one game. In that one game he didn't bat second. We were resting the regulars. That was the circus game. The game we lost something like 20-6 or something. Rested everybody. Gave me a chance to pitch. I saw a triple play. First in Mammoth franchise history. Also saw a lot of hard contact by the Bandits. There's a topper to the left side, under the glove of the first baseman. I think he throws Lip out. Lip was getting down the line well. He runs very well for a middle-aged man. Even better for a middle-aged catcher. We have a couple of catchers who run well. Mike Lippert, Pat Hanlon, Matt DeWolf. Played some with us this summer back home. He can still run. Nate Stark, I would say our hottest hitter, best hitter in the second half, right there with Diamond Dan. In the top of the 7th inning, Mammoth down 10-2.
Nice hack, Nate.
Good cut by Nate, just late.
Good, Nate. Come on, babe.
Who else might make for an interesting character in a spin-off? I suggested earlier in the tournament that Nate Stark reminds me of a small-town sheriff. It's a ball off the plate. And Gary Cooper. Like if we were to remake High Noon, I could see Nate Stark playing the sheriff role. I don't think he necessarily has, I don't want to say the color. I mean, Nate's actually a really interesting guy. He's a very smart guy. He's got a great sense of humor. I don't know that he's not the character, though, that Brian Bushman is. And if you're going to have a spin-off, I think you need a character in the Bushman mold to kind of carry the interest beyond the series, beyond the seminal series, carry the interest into the spin-off. So probably not Nate Stark. There's a line drive to the left side, diving catch. It's going to throw Lip out from his knees. Nice play. That was kind of a a line drive a little bit further down the bat. I don't think he barreled it. It was a really nice catch. Mike Lippert was 3/4 of the way to second base when he caught that ball. Mike might have been running on that. Third baseman just got to his knees and flipped the ball back to the first baseman, a double lip off. So that is that. I mean, Diamond Dan Casazza, I think he would work in a spinoff. We've already explored them. I mean, Diamond Dan contains multitudes, much like Brian Bushman. I think we could find an interesting plot for Diamond Dan. Go into the bottom of the 7th, down 10-2. There are a lot of people behind me. I hope I can be heard. I'm trying to keep this commentary down a little bit. It's a little strange to be talking into a phone, feeling like people are just sitting there listening to you and in the same vicinity that you're doing the talking in. I don't know why that feels strange, but it does. Apparently the stream cut off yesterday in the 7th inning. I had a guy come up and he was like playing with his phone just a foot away from me, not watching the game. And I just felt like he was, I don't know, he was mumbling, and I called him an imbecile, and I immediately regretted it. I spent much of the next 2 innings trying to backtrack from the statement, and then I ended up talking to the guy, and it made me even worse because he's a very nice guy. There's almost no chance that the man I called an imbecile would ever hear these words, but on the off chance that somehow he catches wind of the fact that I called him an imbecile, I want to once again apologize for that.
Smart at bat. You know, it's easier said than done when you got guys that are killing.
Good hitter here. Spits on his glove. Big clap. Strikes me as a man who likes what he sees in the mirror when he gets up in the morning. Pleased with the way he looks in a uniform and probably out of a uniform. How many of us would actually be able to say that when we get up in the morning and we look in the mirror, we're pleased with what we see? It's middle-aged men. Could all use a nip here and a tuck there. I'd say 45 is. How we doing? Good. You guys are just crushing the baseball.
You get there, girl.
It's number 2. Retrieving a baseball. Toss them a compliment. I might have said many things. I might have complimented them on their pitching, on their jerseys. I think they're a sharp-looking group. I think the team name, the Tulsa Biscuits, I think that deserves a certain amount of respect. Ground ball foul. They certainly played with, I would say, certainly played with professionalism. Zero chirping, just no back and forth at all in either game. One thing I like about, there's a well hit ball to left. I think that's going to burn Billy. It does, over his head. One thing I like about the Mammoth, and this is really personal preference, but when we do something well, when there's a big play, there's a certain amount of cheering, right? There's a certain amount of hooting and hollering. We do have some guys who are more vocal, but we have some quieter guys in this team who are willing to take success in stride. I feel like Tulsa's the same, poured in the same mold. They hit that home run, and, you know, there was a cheer. But we played a Utah Dodger team, I'll bring them up, who just really, really, really vocal when they did things well. And don't mean to be critical of that. There's nothing wrong with excitement, but I kind of like teams that are a little more even-keeled.
6'6", 6'7". 6'8".
Again, that's just personal preference. We did have some other issues with that Utah team. There's a shot to Dan. Dan catches.
Wow.
Catches that runner off second base. Kind of returned the favor from last inning.
I was just thinking we haven't had any luck like
A line drive to Dan Smollett at third. Dan gloved it. Runner on second. He too was halfway to 2/3 to the base in front of him. Dan just threw the ball behind him. Casey Johnson received it, doubled him up. It's 2 outs. Another barreled baseball though. That was just lucky.
Soft way. Change it. Fastball.
So I like these. I like Tulsa. I like the way they play the game.
Fritz should have. Well, in that first time we got us all, Fritz is gonna hit the spots.
Never want to lose, but if we have to lose, I'm okay losing to these guys. There's a fly ball to right. Bushy getting over. Foul territory, makes a catch. It's 3 outs.
All right, runs.
It's kind of fun to catch.
Dude, he's super very.
All right, let's take a walk. So Pat Hanlon's going to get a chance to bat. I would prefer not to bat, so I will almost certainly decline any offering of an at bat. Had a couple hits this tournament. Had a double. Probably off the worst pitcher we saw, but I will not mention that in any retelling of the double, except in this retelling.
I mean, I've probably played against a lot of these guys at this level. That's the catcher. He's kind of cool. That is the catcher? Wow. Yeah, small world. I never would have expected that I'd come down here and play against guys that I went to school with. Yeah. Pretty neat. That's what these tournaments are all about.
How we doing, Bushy?
Oh, doing all right, Tom. Be nice if we could mount at least a little bit of a comeback here, make it a little closer.
I'm with you. I mean, I'm glad we're not. I'm glad it's not like 20 to 2. You know, like 10 to 2 or 11 is it's right on the edge of getting really ugly.
Right. So, you know, still do it. 4 here, 4 there, and it's a tie game.
That's right.
Pile it on for an 8-run blunder. It's a tie game.
Right.
So 2 innings left. Be nice if we could at least make it look respectable by
That's
the end.
right. That's right. So 3 turtles and what else?
Just 3 turtles and a sweet lady.
And a sweet lady.
Yeah.
All right, that's a good combination.
No dogs. We watch Christina's brother's dog.
Back to the game.
That's the one you bring to the game.
Casey would kill me if I missed his at bat. I think Casey's going to be swinging hard here.
There you go. There you go.
Casey's had some softer contact this game. I'll make sure I catch this. He said he's going to want to see this. Foul ball. Good wood. I feel like Casey's, I mentioned this earlier, I think he's releasing early with this swing. It's not something you're necessarily going to fix in the middle of the game, but if we were at the cage, I would encourage him to work on staying connected. Try to hit the inside part of the baseball and hit it back up the middle.
Way to fight, 5.
Same thing. Rolling over the top of that one, foul. The pitcher you'll recognize, a lot of pitchers will recognize that. Just work, hit her off the plate. A lot of that contact results in ground balls to the left side. He did work him off the plate. Casey let that one go. Resulted in a strikeout. Pretty good sequence by that pitcher. In. Draped a curveball, I believe, over the outer half. Casey didn't object. I think he was just beat by the sequence. he's taking the same approach here. That ball was in. So it comes back in again. Nope. Right on the corner.
Hey, you're set now. Let's go, Jax.
Nate did a little pitching for us earlier in the tournament. There's a hit batsman. See Nate muttering under his breath a little bit.
51.
It's Pat Hanlon getting a chance to hit. Limited play for Pat in this tournament. He did miss one game. Something work-related. Pat chokes up a little bit on that bound bat, it looks like. Case and I were talking about choking up.
Come on, Patty.
We both agree. It feels like you can't get the same.
Good take. You're ready now, Pat.
You don't have that. You don't have the knob of the bat as creating kind of a fulcrum point. Clark will correct me if that's the wrong term, but there's a ground ball. This could be two. Second to first. That's a double play. Get out of the inning. Just doesn't feel like you can drive the bat. You know, you can't drive the knob of the bat at the ball with the same kind of authority without having that knob on the heel of your hand. But plenty of accomplished hitters hit with a choked up grip. So we'll blame that on the batter and on the execution rather than the grip itself. Matt Grill coming out again. I wonder if he'll give Nate the ninth or if he'll just finish this one off. I'm going to sit down here for a bit. See, we're still at 22 viewers. Impressed with that. Figured with a laugher like this one, everyone back home will be getting ready for Sunday football. I always spend a good portion of these streams, it seems like, thanking people for listening. I don't want to get obsequious with thanks, but I do appreciate it. I was telling somebody what I like doing in these streams. It's fun coming up with just colorful ways to describe what I'm seeing, what I regard as colorful ways. There's a creative exposition to this that I feel like I can have fun with when I do these things. And I do worry that some out there are going to roll their eyes at some of the digressions. I bring that up a lot. So what typically happens is first game or two, I'm kind of, it's a ball. I think this is this batter's first plate appearance. I play a little bit closer to the vest, and then as the tournament wears on, and we get deeper in the round robin portion, kind of loosen up a bit, and then we tighten up a little bit more in the playoffs and try to keep it a little bit more traditional because typically have more viewers and I feel like people are really here for the game. But I have fun. But the fun part of this for me is just coming up with some of these metaphors and playing a little bit with the language. So I appreciate the people who are willing to indulge me. Give me that license. It does feel a little self-indulgent at times, but I'll just thank people for listening. It's a foul ball to the left side. I mean, I'm talking like I have an audience of hundreds, and most games we don't get more than 10 or 15, but that's still a number of people I've never met listening to this, so it's pretty cool. First at bat for this hitter. Kind of casting the bat at the baseball. Plenty of room. Dan was really battling the sun. Dan's had some tough balls over there this game. Kind of a mixed bag in terms of his defense. One bad throw, but a couple of nice plays. Dan not really in position over there either. He's a first baseman. But today we got Nate Stark playing first base, so. He's number 1. Nice looking swing from number 1. Built something like a Cornish hen. Not quite the stature of a butterball turkey. I think we're going to go with Cornish hen, Cornish game hen. See what he does here. Ball off the plate. Something you don't see very often on the baseball field. Matt Grill walking a hitter. Looks like they're kind of clearing the bench here. We have a pinch hitter. This guy strikes me as a little anxious. Little toe tap. Yeah, you got a hit there. Good for him. He had the look of a man who was going to swing at anything. He was somewhat fortunate he got a pitch to put a bat on. Adding another batter to the bottom. It's a long way for Dan to come. I think this may drop. Mike Dahl attempts an over the head catch, does not make it, but is able to throw the runner at first out at second base. Runner had to stay pretty close to the base. Probably should have gotten out much further. That was going to be a tough play. You got to be able to get to second base if it falls, but he doesn't. I talked to this guy. We walked up on these guys when they were playing Lakeville. Seemed like a really, really nice guy. Very friendly. I'm surprised he's not in the lineup. He looks like he'd crush a baseball, but let's see if he turns one around here. Pitch off the plate. Nice off-speed pitch there, really slowed his bat down. He still hit it a ton in the air. That one drops. Very, very slow path of the bat through the zone. Really got him out on his front foot, but fell in that no man's land between Casaza and center, Bushman and right, and Casey Johnson running back from second base. None of them could get to it. Puts runners at first and third. If you're just joining us, Mammoth gave up 6 runs in the first inning. Matt Grill pitching on no day's rest. Wasn't at his sharpest. These guys can really hit the top of it. And then Tulsa has scored a couple since then. They have at least 10. They may have more than that, 11, 12. We'll try to get a score at the end of this inning. And Tulsa's thrown 2 pretty good pitchers at the Mammoth. And the Mammoth have managed 2 runs, I believe. We are in the, I want to say bottom of the 7th or bottom of the 8th. It's number 4. He's hit the ball well today. He's the number 2 hitter. Leadoff hitter started everything off with a line drive single to left. Impressed with him as well. I think his name is Larry. know that Larry fits. Or maybe it fits perfectly. First and third. Got her waves at a changeup off the plate. I'm gonna sit down here. Opposing dugout informs me that the count is full and there are 2 outs. We will stick around for a while after the game. Maybe get some closing thoughts from some of the barreled ball to left. Billy goes back, comes in, makes the catch. Good way. 8's had a good game. Guys are, I don't know, I wonder if that was bottom of the 8th. These guys are reading Grill like that was the end. Matt, what inning are we in? Where are we at? This is 9? Okay.
It's
Good, top of 9. This is it. So, win or lose, we'll stick around. Like I said, maybe get some closing thoughts from some of the guys we've seen on the stream. Dan Casaza, after these games, likes to take his setup, which is behind home plate, and I see him walking around talking to guys. So I strongly encourage you to hop over to that stream. Get a different perspective from the Mammoth's best player. Well, it's him or Grilly. Mammoth's best hitter, let's put it that way. That's no controversy in that statement. But I'll stick around too. I think because this game was kind of decided early, I don't think there's going to be too many long faces in the dugout. I mentioned early, is it better to lose like 20-2 or 6-5? This isn't a 20-2 game. This is maybe 10-11-2. They beat us pretty badly, but it's not a score that, I think the score fairly accurately indicates kind of the level of play from both sides. I mean, these guys just hit the ball better than us. I think they pitch better than us. And I think the margin of victory reflects kind of a margin of the margin that they demonstrated in terms of how much better they were in those areas. I think the score is appropriate. I think it reflects what we've seen today. Here's Brian Duran. Brian had a complete game shutout against the Utah Dodgers. Brian back home is known as Smoke Break Brian. That's a big swing. Wow. That's a really impressive swing from Brian.
Nobody knows where they're batting, Nate.
Hasn't had a lot of opportunity to bat. It's really impressive, that swing. Really, really strong performance on the mound against a good Utah team. Shut him out. Brian, a roommate of Jackson Meyer back home, owner of Battalion Bats. Teammates on the Diablos, 18 plus TCMABL. It's a big swing. I'm really impressed with that swing. I kind of, having seen that swing there, I kind of would have liked to have seen more of it this tournament. I'm not saying that because I'm saying I don't think our lineups were good. I think they were. I mean,
All right, Danny Barrow, 1 out of 16.
The lineups I probably would have put out there myself, but that was a really good looking swing by Brian. Dan Camrath. Another, let's call him a bench player who hasn't seen too much action in this tournament. Bat here, at bat there. There's a ringing shot to left center. Attaboy, Dan. Dan's going to make it in the second base. Well struck baseball by Dan. Great to see Dan close the tournament off with a hit like that. Dan's another one of the, we call him the guys who are a little bit deeper on the roster, who accept the bats they get and their role with no complaints. Just happy to be out here. Dan got a congratulatory fist bump from the shortstop, Mark Hoyland. I think we've emptied the bench. I think I'm the only guy who isn't going to get an at bat this game, and I am okay with that. Back's a little stiff. That's what Mark Hoyland does. Mark, longtime Giant, came down with Billy. I think he was childhood friends with Bill. I remember Mark from the early days of the TCMABL. I'm talking late 90s, early 2000s. My halcyon days, I would describe them, the TCMABL. I was hitting home runs, could run like a gazelle. Extraordinarily handsome, of course. All of that has slipped away. Okay, we're down to potentially the final out, is that right? Let's see what kind of celebration we get from their side. Like I said, the game was kind of decided early. They played well. I would make it one more shot to see Dan Casaza, though. Put a bow on the many digressions we've had at, say, Dan's expense. I trust it's been abundantly evident how fond I am of Dan Casaza. He plays with an irrepressible, indomitable spirit.
Let's go 2-1.
He is Invictus. All right, that's it. An emphatic yes as he released that pitch, or rather as it was swung at. Let's get in the handshake line. Give these guys their props. We'll stick around for a while, talk to the guys. Hey, Dan, way to barrel that baseball, man. Nice game back there.
Hey, great tournament, guys. Great tournament.
Way to hit the ball.
Great tournament.
Great game. Nice game, guys. Great game, guys. Really nice game. Congrats, guys. Congratulations. Well deserved, guys. Well deserved. Good game, guys. Excellent game, guys. Well deserved, guys. Great game, guys. Well deserved. Good work, guys. Nice game.
Great tournament, fellas.
Well deserved, guys. Congratulations. Congrats.
Way to smoke
All right.
that ball. That a kid?
Mammoth.
Absolutely.
Mammoth.
Good turn. Overturn, you guys. Overturn.
Always a pleasure,
Overturn,
gentlemen.
you guys.
Attaboy, Billy. Way to battle out there. Nice swing up there. Nice game. Attaboy. Nice hit. Attaboy, Matt. Attaboy, Dolly. Nice work up there, guys.
Good job, gentlemen.
One of my only pictures I got. Thank you, guys. Great tournament, guys. Yes. Of course, anytime.
Good job, guys.
Good job, guys.
Oh.
14 or 17. Right there.
Are we going to do a picture? We should probably keep the unis on, do a picture. I think we'll get a team picture.
It hits the back of the fence.
All right, boys. Have we played this team again? We get them. Play this team again? We get them, boys.
Matt, do we want to do a picture, do you think? You want to do a team picture or no? I really don't care.
Let me check with Stark.
Okay.
I'm the wrong person to ask right now.
Understood. I think for posterity's sake, it might be nice to have a picture. I actually suggested we do it after maybe the second day, but
Hey, guys, let's get a picture.
Hey, let's get a picture before you get your unis off.
I'm going to take my sweatshirt off.
Everybody's head down today.
Sit
Nobody's
tight.
head down today. You fought today, boys. You fought today.
We're going to go pick real quick.
support my fan base.
So this. We're assembling for a picture.
Well, not one. Obviously. Oh, yeah. I'd at least buy one.
Yeah, that's tough. You're tall and good looking.
I mean, I could.
Guy, you want to be in the group?
All right, tall guys in the back. I'll be the.
This is always an interesting operation here. Players trying to self-assemble by height.
Yeah, one will bring the kids.
It really works out. I'm pretty short. By my man Stark.
How many we got in the front? You gotta even it up.
Oh my God.
Switch? You got me.
in front of
You got
us.
me.
Switch?
Like one of my
Switch. I fairly
Are
tower.
you gonna
I tower-
stream
I-
in the picture?
I tower over Diamond Dan.
That made me smile.
What do they say? Second place is first.
This is why you wear shades, so you don't have to look at a camera.
So you can't see the tears.
Scooch in a little
One
bit,
on my
Tommy.
nose.
There you go, buddy.
Oh, all right, get some, get some, okay.
Oh my goodness.
Smolik, you got some
Show off. Smolik, do it in front too.
Yeah, Smolik, come on. Yeah, all right, let's do it.
Are we good?
Let's go watch Vikings.
Hey, good turn, fellas.
Don't know if we're gonna have a little post-game huddle. Appears not. Thought we might see Diamond Dan with a few words.
Last one
Hey, you got a really nice-looking swing.
Thank you, man.
I mean, that is. I said on the stream, I kind of wish we had seen more of it. That was a really powerful. I didn't know you swung the bat like that.
I seen the ball out of his hand really good.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, way to be.
What about that?
Yeah, felt like a good swing. Felt like I didn't try to do too much, but still trying to put a powerful.
Do you bat a lot for the Diablos?
Yeah,
and-
I bat quite a bit for all them guys. But like I said, I know you guys brought me down here for my arm, and
Yeah.
I'll take what I can get, man.
Yeah.
I'm
Well, it's
not
a great-
greedy. I'm a team player. So.
It was a great start, Utah. It was really good.
Well, I got something positive to tell
Right.
my brothers.
Right.
Austin streams right here again. Somehow we still have 11 viewers here. I don't know. Maybe they're biscuits.
I encourage people to come at the end of these games and listen to you because I know you walk around, talk to people,
I do.
and I'm talking the whole time. So
I don't like talking after these ones. You know, you don't like having a L to talk about.
Right.
But we blew it early. So it's the honest truth. So we blew it early, and it doesn't feel good when you do that because you know you can be better. So you walk away and you feel like it could have been a win, but at the end of the day, we didn't. The lesson is next time we got to play better defense.
what was the final? Like
11 to 2.
So you take away that 6 in the first. It's
8
5.
in the first inning. I thought it was
Was it
7.
8? Was it 7? Okay.
It was 7.
Yeah. It was rough.
Yeah, I mean, 3 of those for sure were because of errors. Because when Smolik threw it over the first baseman's head, it was 4-0. That would end the inning. And then we had Grill through an error, I think. I don't remember what else.
We weren't sharp.
No, we didn't come out ready.
Still fun though, right?
Yeah, I mean,
You'll
it's
be
always
back.
fun.
You'll be back next year.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, you have to.
The only reason I say probably is because if I play 25 plus, and we'll see how much I can negotiate for 2 weeks. But who knows?
I need you for this stream. You're the protagonist of these streams.
Am I?
I have the most fun with you. Yeah. You're a cartoon character. Look at you. Come on, man.
I mean, I am an entertaining individual
You
when
truly
on
are.
the baseball field.
You truly do. So
And
you're right.
My full personality comes out.
Absolutely. You're
But,
bigger. You occupy all of your space and you overflow it. That's what makes you so much fun.
But that's the fun part, you know.
Right. Well, that's why we do this.
I
right?
feel like guys should take up some space when they play because you got to have some confidence, but you got to have, I don't know, some fun with it. So
Right.
fun is personality.
100%. Well, it's a pleasure, Dan. It's a
Yeah,
pleasure.
always. Thanks, Tom. For
Yeah,
doing that.
yeah,
I'm
for sure.
everyone's Really appreciative.
I know.
My wife has laughed multiple times because it's the shit you said about
Good,
me.
good,
about
good.
people.
I'm glad she takes it that way.
Well,
see what these guys have to say.
It's tough on defense to make every play when hit, and now you get a chance 10 minutes later to make a play. Like, yeah. Then I turned and didn't see Dolly on the double play, and I was like, oh, he's breaking late. I'll leave it behind. And then he came in like a bat out of hell, and I was like, oh, I could be that way behind him now.
It's a fun tournament. Good tournament.
Played great baseball. Nothing wrong with that. The team you lost to's got some really good players.
Oh, I didn't break anything. The line drive got me perfectly. Yeah, in these two fingers.
Ouch.
Yeah. And then I was all jacked up. I had to spike the next 3 pitches. Like, take a second.
Trophy ceremony going on behind us. Probably heard in the handshake line, a lot of mutual respect. Again, it's what I would expect from these guys. Really impressed with everything about them. Very worthy opponents. Tip of the cap to the Tulsa Biscuits, your Mountain Division champs. Base runners, imagining they can keep up with Diamond Dan as he runs the bases. I don't think next year is going to make a difference. After the game, the kids take over on the field, run these bases. What a treat. I mean, they don't realize how fortunate they are to be running on this field. This is a field that the Angels do not let anyone use. Well, people are dispersing, so I think it's another year of baseball and another year of streaming in the books. I think everybody knows how much I enjoy doing this. Where's Billy? Wait, let's do it again.
Pass is over. Mammoth 2022 out. Peace. You got to hang up now. Bye. Time to go.
All right, are we going?
Everybody's calling for you. Yeah. Bye, everybody on Twitter.
We'll see everybody. Thanks for listening.
We love you.
Stay tuned in January for when the Skeeters take Palm Springs. Thanks again, everybody. I do a proper sign off here, but it sounds like I don't know what this is going on here. But we'll go over here and we'll see what's going on. Thanks, everybody. See everybody soon.